पर्दे के पीछे K9 ओमेगा शॉट 1 टेक 1।
ओमेगा, आपकी टीम लुक्स शार्प, पर आप ट्रॉफी तक नहीं पहुंच पा रहे हैं, क्या गलत हो रहा है?
मैं तो यही कहना चाहूंगा कि इट्स अ प्रोसेस, स्लो प्रोसेस। हम डेली मैचेस में नए मेटा के हिसाब से चीज़ें सीख रहे हैं और उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में टाइम लग रहा है। तो धीरे धीरे जब ये कंप्लीट हो जाएगा तब हम लोग पीक पे आ जाएंगे।
सीजन 4 में क्या हम कुछ अलग एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं आपसे?
हाँ ना, बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंट है प्लेयर्स, क्योंकि उनको मोस्टली आइडिया आ गया है कि हमारा गेम प्लान क्या रहने वाला है।
अगर आपको एक मौका मिले आपका अपना एक ट्रांसफर रोकने का, रीराइट करने का, तो आप क्या बदलेंगे?
यार मैं ऐसे सोचता नहीं हूँ, मतलब कि मेरे लिए ऐसा होता है कि आई मूव फॉरवर्ड, मतलब जो भी हुआ अच्छे के लिए हुआ है, कुछ ना कुछ बेटर ही हुआ है, तो मैं से वापस पीछे नहीं जाता।
अगर आप एक डिसीजन को क्रॉस आउट कर सके और उस मोमेंट को रीबिल्ड कर सके, तो वो कौन सा मोमेंट होगा?
एक बार जब मैं एलएस में था तो अक्षत को मैंने दूसरी टीम में भेज दिया था और फिर मैं उस ऑफिशियल से बाहर हो गया था, तो आई थिंक मैं अक्षत को वापस लेके आऊंगा।
ओमेगा, आपको ज्यादा प्रेशर किस चीज का फील होता है? ऑडियंस की एक्सपेक्टेशन का या अपने ही स्टैंडर्ड्स पे फेल होने का?
ऑडियंस का प्रेशर तो देखो रहा नहीं है, मतलब स्टार्टिंग से गेम खेल रहे हैं तो अच्छा ही लगता है जब ऐसे आवाजें आती है, एक प्लेयर मारा, आवाज आई, वो कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्ट मिलता है। जो नए प्लेयर्स हैं उनको थोड़ा प्रेशर फील होता होगा, और वैसे ऐसा कुछ डर है नहीं, पता ही है कि मेहनत करते रहेंगे तो अपने आप कामयाब हो जाएंगे। तो मैं ऐसे सेकंड थॉट्स नहीं लेता, नेगेटिव चीज की साइड में जाता ही नहीं, पॉजिटिव सोचो, अपने आप हो जाएगा।
जिस लाइनअप ने आपको फेमस बनाया वो तो अब गायब सा ही हो गया है, आपको कभी उनकी मेमोरीज आती है या वो लाइनअप के साथ वापस खेलने के बारे में सोचा है?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं, मतलब अच्छी यादें हैं नो डाउट, बट जो बुरी यादें हैं वो बहुत ज्यादा बुरी है और मैं उनको वापस से नहीं जीना चाहूंगा, बिल्कुल भी नहीं। अगर मैं पास में जा भी पाऊं तो मैं वो चेंज कर दूंगा 100%।
प्रेजेंट में ऐसा क्या अच्छा चल रहा है जो पास्ट आपको इतना चुभ जाता है?
पास्ट मेरे को चुभता नहीं है, बस मैं ऐसा बात करना पसंद नहीं है मुझे, मतलब मैं उन चीजों को इतना इंपॉर्टेंस देता ही नहीं हूँ अपनी लाइफ में। प्रेजेंट पे फोकस करो, मेरी टीम है बहुत अच्छी है, काइंड ऑफ जैसी मेरे को टीम चाहिए थी, जिनको मैं अच्छे तरीके से मोल्ड कर सकूं, जिस तरीके से मेरे को खिलाना है, और ये सारे मेरी बात भी सुनते हैं। तो ये चीज आई थिंक मेरे को बहुत पहले कर लेनी चाहिए थी, बट इट्स ओके।
आपके पुराने खिलाड़ी अक्षत और अब नए खिलाड़ी स्लग के बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
स्लग और अक्षत तो बहुत डिफरेंट है, मतलब बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट है, बट इनका कुछ नेचर ऐसा है जो सिमिलर है और जो मुझे पसंद है। बट अब अक्षत तो है नहीं, वो अपने घर के कामों में बिजी हो गया है, तो उसको मिस तो करूंगा मैं। बट हाँ, एक छोटा भाई है मेरे पास अभी, एक नहीं 3 है।
हमें वो 4 नाम बता दीजिए जो मास्टर सीरीज में है पर उन्हें चैलेंजर सीरीज में होना चाहिए था।
कई सारी टीम्स हैं, मतलब आई थिंक वो टीम डिजर्व नहीं करती है। लोअर राउंड में कई टीम्स ऐसी हैं जो इधर की साइड होने डिजर्व करती हैं। नाम तो मैं क्या ही लूंगा यार अब, बट एक दो नाम मेरे को याद है, जैसे कि TWOB है, एंड मतलब जो क्राइटेरिया मैच नहीं हो रहा है, मैड किंग्स नहीं और गए ना, पॉइंट टेबल्स है ना कुछ और, तो ऐसे कई चीजें हैं।
थैंक यू सो मच ओमेगा, वी ऑल लव यू, ऑल द बेस्ट।
थैंक यू।
पर्दे के पीछे TRJ शॉट 1 टेक 1।
बढ़िया, स्टार्ट करें।
तो जेली, परफॉर्मेंस डिप क्यों आ रही है? नंबर 5 इन ऑफिशियल्स, नंबर 7 इन थर्ड पार्टी, BGMS में 10 के नीचे जाने का प्लान है क्या?
टॉप 5 तो ठीक है यार, देखो आप लास्ट मैच तक हम लोग थर्ड पे ही चल रहे थे, लास्ट टूर्नामेंट में भी ठीक है। लास्ट मैच चोक हो गया थोड़ा सा, तो 7th तक गिर गए, बट मेरे हिसाब से अच्छा खेली टीम हमारा। अगर थोड़ा सा गलती ना करते तो शायद थर्ड आ जाते या पोडियम फिनिश लेके आ जाते, तो ठीक है, होता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। BGMS पे करेंगे ना अभी। अच्छा,
आपने बताया आपका लाइनअप अभी नया बना है, उसके बारे में बताइए।
रिसेंट जो अपना ये लैंड हुआ था अभी, उससे पहले ये वाला लाइनअप जो बना था, मतलब 2 प्लेयर्स मैंने चेंज किए थे, निंदर और सैम अलग हो गए थे, एंड हम लोग हर्ष और हाइड्रो को लेके आए थे टीम के अंदर। तो विजन यही था कि जीतने वाले लाइनअप बनानी है, एंड हाइड्रो और हर्ष पे मेरे को भरोसा भी है। देखते हैं, अभी तक रिजल्ट काफी अच्छे रहे हैं, मतलब जितना मैंने एक्सपेक्ट किया था शायद उससे बेटर ही है। कभी कभी गलतियां हो जाती है, लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से अच्छा करेगी लाइनअप।
चलिए, एक स्टार स्टडेड लाइनअप जो आपने पहले लीड किए और अभी जो लाइनअप है जहां नए फेसेस हैं, क्या फर्क है इन्हें लीड करने में?
लेकिन मेरे को तो ऐसा लगता है कि अगर मैं ये सोच के लीड कर रहा हूँ किसी टीम को कि इस टीम में स्टार्स है या फिर इस टीम में अंडरडॉग प्लेयर्स है, तो फिर तो मेरे को आईजेल करना छोड़ देना चाहिए, क्योंकि फिर मैं सेम पेज पे कभी भी आईजेल कर नहीं पाऊंगा। अगर मैं किसी भी प्लेयर को अपने से बड़ा मान के चल रहा हूँ या फिर ऐसा मान के चल रहा हूँ ये स्टार है, मैं इसको कुछ बोल नहीं सकता, तो फिर तो लाइनअप चल नहीं पाएगी कभी भी। तो मैं किसी भी लाइनअप में रहता हूँ तो सेम ही ट्रीट करता हूँ हर एक प्लेयर को, वो फर्क नहीं पड़ता मेरे को कितना भी बड़ा स्टार हो या फिर कोई भी अंडरडॉग हो। अगर कोई गलती करेगा तो मैं उसको वहाँ पे उसी तरह से सुनाऊंगा जैसे एक अंडरडॉग को सुनाता हूँ या फिर एक स्टार प्लेयर को सुनाता हूँ, तो इक्वल है, कुछ ऐसा डिफरेंस नहीं है।
आपके करियर में सबसे बेस्ट लाइनअप कौन सा रहा है जो आपके फेस पे मुस्कुराहट ले आती है?
देखो मुस्कुराहट तो आएगी है, और मतलब वो लाइनअप सबको पता भी, और मैं मतलब जहाँ भी जाता हूँ सबके सामने उस लाइनअप की तारीफ करता हूँ, उस ऑर्ग की तारीफ करता हूँ। वो OR Esports है, ऑरेंज रॉक। तो मतलब वहाँ पे बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंस था मेरा। BMPS तो हम लोग सेकंड आए थे, और जो भी टूर्नामेंट खेलते थे हमेशा फर्स्ट से क्वालिफाई करते थे, और हमेशा मतलब डोमिनेट करते थे उस टाइम पे। आरू आतंकी, मैं और आदित्य लाइनअप थी हमारी। तो OR का टाइम मतलब मैं भुला नहीं सकता, लाइफ का बेस्ट पार्ट रहा है अभी तक मेरे। क्या पता अभी शायद और कुछ बड़ा प्राइम आना हो, लेकिन वो वाला मेरा बेस्ट था, बहुत मजा आता था उस टाइम।
आरू एंड आतंकी ने अभी ट्रॉफी उठा ली, पर आपकी ट्रॉफी तो हमें नहीं दिख रही।
तो देखो आरू और आतंकी ना मेरे भाई जैसे, जब वो फर्स्ट डे पे टॉप भी किए थे मैं उनके पास गया था, उनको बोला था प्लीज इस बार ट्रॉफी उठा देना, क्योंकि पहली बात तो OG की ट्रॉफी सब लोग देखना चाहते थे, और OG से ज्यादा मैं देखना चाहता था आरू और आतंकी को बहुत अच्छा करते हुए, क्योंकि वो पहली शायद मेरी ऐसी टीम थी जब हम लोग अलग हुए थे तो हमारे बीच में कुछ भी लड़ाई या कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं हुआ था। बहुत ज़्यादा म्यूचुअल बेसिस पे हम लोग अलग हुए थे, और वो लोग भी समझे थे चीज़ों को जिसके बेसिस पे हम लोग अलग हुए, और आज वो लोग इतना अच्छा कर रहे हैं, ट्रॉफी उठा ली। मतलब देखो मैं इतने टाइम से कह रहा हूँ मैं नहीं उठा पाया, लेकिन वो लोग उठा लिए तो मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगता है, और होपफुली BGMS में भी वो लोग अच्छा करें। बाकी तो चलते रहता है, क्या पता अपनी ट्रॉफी पे आ जाए जल्दी।
ये आपका फोर्थ मस्केटियर आदित्य कहाँ है वो आजकल?
यार आदित्य का मेरे को इतना आइडिया नहीं है, बट हाँ जब मैं टूरिपस की लाइनअप बना रहा था तो मैंने उसको अप्रोच किया था आदित्य को, लेकिन कुछ उसके डिफरेंट प्लान्स थे, तो उसने बोला कि वो शायद उस जगह पे कंटिन्यू करना चाहता है। तो मैंने बोला ठीक है कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन फ्यूचर में अगर कुछ भी होगा तो दरवाजे हमेशा खुले भाई के लिए, कभी भी आ जाए।
हमारे न्यू इनिशिएटिव चैलेंजर सीरीज के बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
देखो मेरे हिसाब से तो अच्छा है, क्योंकि 24 टीम्स अपना BGMS में लेके और चैलेंजर सीरीज में 24 टीम्स रहेगी, तो मेरे हिसाब से अच्छा है। अंडरडॉग्स को भी लैन पे आके चांस मिल रहा है, नहीं तो हमेशा ये होता था अंडरडॉग्स को सीधा ऑनलाइन स्टेज पे खिलाते थे, उसके बाद सीधा लैन पे आके फिर वो उनके पास भी एक बहाना बोल लो या कुछ भी बोल लो, लेकिन वो रहता था कि भाई हम लोग तो लैन पे खेले नहीं, फर्स्ट टाइम आ रहे हैं। लेकिन इस बार तो पूरा चैलेंजर सीरीज उनका लैन पे होने वाला है, तो उसके बाद उनके पास बहाना नहीं होगा जब मास्टर सीरीज में वो लोग आएंगे कि हम पे एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है कुछ भी। बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा इनिशिएटिव है, और नॉट भी नहीं कर सकता थे।
लास्ट क्वेश्चन, चैलेंजर सीरीज की 2 टीम्स जो आप मास्टर सीरीज में देखना चाहते हैं?
चैलेंजर सीरीज से मास्टर सीरीज में तो मेरे हिसाब से सिंसिनाटी गेट्स और विजिस्टा स्पोर्ट्स, क्योंकि एक में हेक्टर है एक में जूसी है, बहुत ज्यादा नोन प्लेयर है, काफी टाइम से खेलते आ रहे हैं, तो मैं इन दोनों को देखना चाहता हूँ मास्टर सीरीज में।
ओके, और वो 2 टीम्स मास्टर सीरीज में जिन्हें ये दोनों टीम्स रिप्लेस कर सकती है?
एक RNDX और RNDX के साथ लिखिए स्पोर्ट्स विजिस्टा लिखिए एक साथ है ना, तो इनको स्वैप कर देते हैं।
रीजन भी बता दीजिए।
लेकिन RNDX में मतलब जिन प्लेयर्स ने उतना बड़ा नाम बनाया था वो नहीं खेल रहे ना अभी, तो अभी शायद लाइनअप चेंज जितना मेरे को आइडिया है, तो इसीलिए बस, और कोई रीजन नहीं।
गुड लक जेली फॉर BGMS सीजन 4।
थैंक यू।
Okay, so let's say you find this little number in a loot box. Before you slay the competition, slay the fit. Here, get ready with me. Press the power button on your Android to activate Gemini and ask for styling tips. How do I style this jacket for a casual look?
For a casual look, pair this jacket with jeans and a white, black or grey t-shirt. Complete the outfit with either boots for a rugged vibe or clean sneakers for a modern, relaxed feel.
Boom! Conquer coded outerwear. May you slay in style.
Only on Android.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
Our
is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to rage. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Get ready to write new legends with the new TVS Raider, the best bike for heroes of the battleground.
इस वक्त काउंटर पार कर सकते हैं बट एक भी इस फाइंडिंग अ डीपर एंगल एक और स्पॉट करा उन्होंने थ्रू बचने को चाहते बैक लाइन पे चलेंगे लेकिन ग्रेनेड और स्प्रे से बचना अब इनके लिए पहुंचना मुश्किल एलिमिनेशन न्यूक्लियस ऑफ दिस एंटायर फाइट एंड ओरंगुटान बैक टू बैक बार लगातार.
Unleash your inner hero with the TVS Raider 125 Deadpool and Wolverine editions. Unleash the hero within and choose your legend. TVS Raider Deadpool or Wolverine. Head to the nearest store now and ride the extraordinary.
सेंसे ने ठाना है सीजन 4 में ट्रॉफी घर लेकर आना है. क्या बैटमैन और जोकर की टीम लिफ्ट करेगी बैक टू बैक टाइटल्स? क्या जस्टिन और डेल्टा की जोड़ी करेगी ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में धमाकेदार तोड़ फोड़? With a never say never attitude, Nonix है फिनाले के लिए तैयार. Watch BGMS season 4 live on Jio Hotstar, Star Sports and Nodwin Gaming's YouTube channel daily from 5 p.m. onwards.
One final step before we head to the grand finals. Welcome to the semifinals, day 2 in the BGMS season 4. And I'm going to be your host, Necro. John alongside with me on the panel is Phoenix once again. And Phoenix, after watching that day 1, it seems like the bottom 4 is filled with quite a few interesting names. Yeah. We've got Victor Summers being one of them, and also Nebula Esports. What are your thoughts about that?
To be honest, that's a reality check for the players of Team Nebula because they were so confident, and that confidence was there because there is a reason. They dominated everyone in the BGCS as well as in the playoffs itself. But the reality check hits him hard. I had a conversation with Adi. It seems he is prepared. I would definitely talk about that. But other than these two teams, we also got 2 big names. Global Esports, one of the team who managed to get 500 points but still unable to qualify for the grand finals, and also TWOB.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate to see a team like Global Esports be a part of that bottom 4, right? And since now you've only got 4 games to play, the room for error is extremely less. And even if you mess up one game, that pretty much means the sword of death will be right on top of you. And then if you miss the second game, well, we all know you will be eliminated. There's no way for you to make that bounce back. For TWOB, somewhere down the line, this was inevitable. Yes, they played extremely well in towards the playoffs, but I'm not exactly sure what happened to them once again in the semifinals.
To be honest, I think so TWOB, they got some good momentum in the early stage, especially in the playoffs, because they knew they had only 4 matches, and that confidence actually helped them. Avi felt confident, his whole squad was looking good, even Pokar was, able to get his form back. But the only problem is, in this particular semi-finals, they were unable to do all those stuff.
That's the main issue, right? Even you speak about a team like Victor Sumis, and I've been mentioning this like a broken record since the league stage itself, that that passive playstyle is not going to take you too far. And it seems like semi-finals might just be it if they do not really amp up that aggression anymore. Well, speaking of the semi-finals, day 1, we've got the recaps on the screen as well, on how exactly the action unfolded. In the game 1 itself, we all thought that Hero Extreme Godlike had a solid hold until True Rippers made that pounce and eliminated the likes of Hero Extreme Godlike. Later on, Genesis Esports found themselves against the True Rippers, and True Rippers, they were truly ripping anyone that stood against them.
But once again, they faced the players of mighty Los Hermanos. They were completely dealt with. And it was a clear indication from the players of mighty Los Hermanos that they are looking forward for that slot. And then in the next game, we saw Metal versus BXT. That particular fight, Metal fought too good. And they managed to shut down the fan favorites. And you just saw that reaction from Sirf. And then Metal versus TWOB. And they managed to eliminate them too. So yesterday, in the map of Miramar, Metal was actually pretty good.
Yeah, Metal Esports able to claim a decent bit of points off the rip, but TWOB in the end ended up eliminating the likes of Metal Esports, which is completely fine. What matters is the power play points, and that's what they got in the final few moments. Unfortunately, Phoenix Esports, they were not able to close things off, but True Rippers' back-to-back solid games is what's now keeping them around the top charts in the overall standings. Later on in the map of Sano, things kicked off in quite the fiery manner, where Phoenix Esports locked horns against TWOB, and unfortunately for TWOB, they did not even stand a chance. TWOB got instantly eliminated by the likes of Phoenix Esports, and they had 3 players still left cooking.
And in the final, the third game in fact in the map of Sano, aage managed to just snatch a lot of those points. But OnePlus K9 Esports, this just got it easy, and Omega was quite happy. But the final map of the day was Erangel, and in that particular fight, Team Extreme Godlike managed to shut down the players of Team True Rippers. Eventually, that was a very heated fight, but it favored the players of Hero Extreme Godlike.
Pretty much. Hero Extreme Godlike later on were not able to sustain that position for too long as they got eliminated in the final few moments. But then we also had another winner around the block in that 4th game. But speaking of teams like Hero Extreme Godlike, they're still on the latter half of the board. And don't get me wrong, the Sword of Elimination is still on top of their necks. As long as you're not finding yourself in the top 8, you will not be in that comfort zone. The top 12 directly head on towards the grand finals. But as of now, as we've got the first page on the screen, K9 Esports, they've been the best performing team so far.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Phoenix Esports, look at that score. 10 bonus points, and that's a good number. They haven't secured the chicken dinner yet, but it's still looking solid for them. 40 points at the back. Once again, this is the solid space. This is the first page of the leaderboard, and the teams here are quite, comfortable. But if you just fall short on the 9th spot, Hero Extreme Godlike not that far away to snatch that 8th position from the players of Genesis. Team AX, Team Aryan managed to secure 22 points. Once again, Team Aryan, the ideal himself, Aryan mentioned he thought that they will be able to secure 40 points.
Yeah.
But they're nowhere close to that particular.
For the teams in the bottom 4, the game plan's simple. Go aggressive, try and claim as many points as possible in the power play itself. Even if you manage to get 1 squad wipe, that's going to give you 8 points in total. That can be massive catapults in the overall standings for you. And especially if you're Nebula Esports, you definitely need to be aggressive. Yesterday, Nebula Esports, for some reason, they were playing it pretty passive, and I'm pretty sure even you were surprised watching them play so.
Yesterday, they seemed lost, Necro. That wasn't the game plan. You also casted the playoffs, right? You saw them. They were known to hunt down the teams, but yesterday they got hunted down, and that was a sad ending. And once again, if you're talking about the sad endings, what happened to Global Esports in 8-bit? They just, again, seemed lost. If we talk about S-Power, 69 finishes, 9 power play finishes, only 28% finish contribution. But once again, you need more stats so that you can push your team into the top 12.
I mean, S-Power, of course, has been a little bit of a mediocre performer, but it's not something you expect from a man like S-Power, right? You expect S-Power to pop off in all the different margins. And in general, speaking of Global Esports as well, you brought them up a while ago.
Yeah.
For Global Esports, I always mention this fact that Global Esports and the first game, there's always something going on between that. Global Esports in the first game will always get a massive game in their hands, but for some reason that was not replicated yesterday, and that's why Global Esports after that, we saw that form dipping down even more.
Yesterday after the elimination, you also pointed the same thing out, right? Come on, this has to be their game. You mentioned that every single time, every single day, the first game, it's always all about the players of Global Esports, but Mane, I think so, he won't be able to just manage and collect more points. But today, again, it's a different day, but Necro, it's too hard to say that these teams will qualify easily, because once again, 4 matches, that's it. You got only 4 matches left in the bag.
Pretty much, and you have to bring up double the performance in the 4 matches that are given to you. And especially for a team like Global Esports, it should not be tough. If you look at the amount of experience the players have, if you look at the amount of punch they pack, it should not be tough on paper for a team like Global Esports to crack in that top 12. And generally speaking, I think Global Esports will make it as well. I don't think it's going to be a problem. But a team that completely surprised us has to be K9 Esports. Currently sitting at the top of the charts. In the league stage, K9 Esports was struggling. But in the final few moments of the league stage, K9 Esports definitely picked up that pace, and now it seems like that pace is helping them quite a bit over here in the semifinals.
This is looking too solid, and all the players, all the fans out there for the players of K9 Esports, they're also happy because once again, you got the #1 position on the leaderboard, and now you can play your own game. You can easily spoil other gameplay too. You can easily spoil the plan of other teams too. If Omega wants that, he can do that.
Of course he can, right? And let's speak a little bit more about Beast Ninja Point's luck. Yes, sometimes you definitely do feel like these players are not exactly in that top-notch form that they're known for, but in general, K9 Esports, they're not known for their consistency. They're known for that one massive game that instantly brings them back in the overall standings. And that's what it's been like even in the past couple of tournaments, and even right now. K9 Esports gets that one massive game, and they're instantly back in the race. And speaking for the teams at the bottom as well, that's what they need to do. One massive game, one massive chicken dinner, and instantly they can propel themselves in the top half.
But once again, it's not going to be that easy because the teams who are in the second page, first of all, they have to patch themselves up, and then they can go for the early fights because power play, it's going to be a gamble, a huge gamble. Yesterday, I don't think so. We just saw any major fight except the map of Miramar. Yes, that was a surprise, Necro.
And you know what? In general, with how the things are looking like for the bottom four, even Victor Sumis, right? I mentioned this. If you want to qualify, you need to be aggressive. And since we're speaking so much about Victor Sumis, let's move on to the stage for a quick little interview with the boys.
बड़े बुजुर्गों ने कहा है कि कामयाबी के लिए 3 चीजों का एक साथ आना बहुत जरूरी है। सही जगह, सही लोग और सही वक्त। अब कुछ लोगों का वक्त शायद अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, बट वो पूरी कहानी जो है वो बदल सकती है। 4 टीमें who run the risk of getting eliminated from BGMS season 4, उनमें से 2 हमारे साथ 13 स्पॉट पे ग्लोबली स्पोर्ट्स और 14 स्पॉट पे विक्टोरियस सुमस। मेरे साथ माया भी हैं। भाई मेरे को ना ये बोलते हुए भी बहुत अजीब लग रहा है। इट साउंड्स वेरी स्ट्रेंज। ग्लोबल ई-स्पोर्ट्स, मायावी, मान्या, जिन्होंने 2 ट्रॉफीज उठाई हैं टुगेदर, वो शायद आज हमारा साथ छोड़ देंगे। You see how strange that sounds?
Yeah, definitely it is strange because the reputation and experience we all have, we should have done better. But again, it's not over until it's over. We still have 4 good games and we will try our very best to make it easy and comfortably हम finals तक जाएं।
दूसरी तरफ विक्टोरियस सुमस, ओवेस, भाई तो दिल में है मेरे। लेकिन जो आपके साथ हुआ है आउटसाइड द अरीना, वो कहानी जो है वो इनसाइड द अरीना से बड़ी है। क्या आप अपने आप को खुशकिस्मत समझते हैं कि आप इस स्टेज तक पहुंचे, या आपको लगता है कि नहीं, दुख तो होगा अगर इस स्टेज पे आके हम एलिमिनेट हो गए?
ऑब्वियसली दुख तो होगा कि अगर इधर तक आके हम एलिमिनेट हो जाएंगे। अगर पहले एलिमिनेट होते तो शायद कम दुख होता, क्योंकि अभी यहाँ से फाइनल का सफर है, तो दुख तो होगा। और हम ई स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर है, हमको हमेशा प्रिपेयर रहना चाहिए फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन। हमारा माइंडसेट हमेशा स्ट्रांग हमें रखना चाहिए। यू डोंट नो, कभी कुछ भी हो सकता है, तो इसलिए आई थिंक वी कैन डू इट टुडे।
4 matches for them, 4 matches for you. Do you have the killer instinct in you? क्योंकि मान्या के पास वो एक्सपीरियंस है, लेकिन can you step up when it matters most?
Yes, definitely we will and बहुत डांट पड़ी है सबको, अच्छी खासी डांट कल पड़ी है एंड कोशिश यही रहेगी कि कल उसको जो हमने सुना है, जो समझा है और जो भी हुआ है कल उससे अच्छा से सीख लें और आज उसको बहुत स्मार्टली कैपिटलाइज करने का प्लान है एंड आई एम प्रीटी श्योर वी गोना डू इट।
एक आखिरी सवाल, आपको जो चोट लगी थी वो थंडर की वजह से लगी थी। ही वॉज द वन हु वॉज इन द न्यूज। अब थंडर ही टीम में वापस आ गया है बिकॉज प्रो की तबीयत जो है वो खराब है। क्या ये घाव नासूर बनने वाला है?
2 दिन से शैन की भी तबीयत खराब थी, आज थोड़ी मेरी भी तबीयत खराब है और प्रो का ज़्यादा ही तबीयत खराब था, तो मैंने थंडर से रिक्वेस्ट किया कि खेल ले भाई, क्योंकि तेरे साथ हम लोग ने मतलब बहुत टाइम से खेल भी रहे हैं, 3-4 टूर्नामेंट भी खेले, हम उतने कॉन्फिडेंट है उसके साथ। नो मैटर व्हाट इज द जो भी हुआ, क्योंकि चीज़ों को भूलना भी चाहिए और आगे बढ़ना चाहिए जिंदगी में।
लाइफ लेसन्स 13 and 14, what about 15 and 16? well, उनके साथ मौजूद है क्रैट।
सेमीफाइनल का दूसरा दिन है, 4 मैचेस यहाँ पर भी हैं और मेरे साथ जो 2 खिलाड़ी हैं इन पे भी सवाल उठे हैं और हमेशा की तरह ऑफिसर कार्की की जिम्मेदारी है वो सवाल इनसे पूछे जाएं और आपके सामने जवाब लाए जाएं। शुरुआत करेंगे आदि आपसे। आदि, चैलेंजर सीरीज जीते आप, मतलब यू वर द सीडेड 1 टीम, बड़े बड़े वादे करे जैसे नेता नहीं करते इलेक्शन से पहले, फिर आप गायब हो गए, क्या हुआ ये?
बस इतना कहना चाहूंगा, मैं वो वाला नेता नहीं हूँ। मैं वो वाला नेता हूँ जो थोड़ा टाइम ले लेगा, भले ही आज का भी दिन बाकी है, लेकिन वादा पूरा करेगा।
उम्मीद करें, जनता भी यही चाहती है। बट इस तरफ है हमारे TWB के अभी भाई साहब, रो धो के तो पहुंच गए आप, समझ रहे हो ना क्या बोल रहा हूँ, रो धो के तो पहुंच गए यहाँ तक, आगे का क्या प्लान है?
देखो अगर रोड होके पहुंचते तो सेमीज तक नहीं पहुंचते। बस अभी कल काफ़ी गलतियां की हैं, बट आज का दिन बचा है और देयर इज नो अदर ऑप्शन लेफ्ट। आज करना ही है क्योंकि फाइनल्स तो मैं खेलूंगा।
खूबसूरत। आदि अभी ना मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा कि दिक्कत आ रही है। बाहर लोग पता है क्या बोल रहे हैं, चैलेंजर लॉबी में आसान था मामला, करना कोई भी कर सकता था, तो आदि के बॉयज कर गए। अब जब असली खिलाड़ी आए हैं तो आदि भाई फिसड्डी बन गए। उनको कुछ बोलना चाहोगे?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, आज के 4 मैच बाकी है, आप देख लो फिसड्डी है या क्या करने वाले हैं।
कुछ भी बोलो, आदि भाई की जबान पे कॉन्फिडेंस तो झलकता है। अब आखिरी सवाल आपसे, उसके बाद हम सेगमेंट को वाइंड करेंगे। अभी दाल तो गल नहीं रही आपसे, ये तो बता रहा है, मतलब आपने प्लेऑफ में भी कैसे तैसे इज्जत बचा ली। अब दाल नहीं गल रही है, नहीं बन रहा है कुछ भी। फैंटम जैसा खिलाड़ी वो बर्बाद हो रहा है, उसको यूज क्यों नहीं कर लेते आप?
अभी तक मतलब थोड़ी बहुत तो दाल गल रही थी, अगर वो होता तो मतलब दाल भी नहीं आ पाती थी।
ये है हमारे TWOB से अभी, नेबुला से आदि। बॉयज अपने पोडियम पे जाइए, बेस्ट ऑफ लक, हैव अ क्रेजी 4 मैचेस, बस यही उम्मीद करूंगा। बट यही दस्तूर है, अभी हमारे पास 16 टीमें हैं, दिन के आखिरी में 12 रह जाएंगी, ग्रैंड फाइनल जाएंगी और मजा और बढ़ेगा।
पता नहीं, ऐसा लग रहा है कि आज ना सिर्फ कुछ उम्मीदें टूटेंगी लेकिन शायद कुछ टीमें भी टूट जाएं, क्योंकि एलिमिनेशन है सर पे। ऑल मैचेस टू बी प्लेड ऑन द OnePlus 13। इट्स गो टाइम। मैच 1 कमिंग अप ऑन द अदर साइड।
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Okay, so let's say you find this little number in a loot box. Before you slay the competition, slay the fit. Here, get ready with me. Press the power button on your Android to activate Gemini and ask for styling tips. How do I style this jacket for a casual look?
For a casual look, pair this jacket with jeans and a white, black or grey t-shirt. Complete the outfit with either boots for a rugged vibe or clean sneakers for a modern, relaxed feel.
Boom! Conquer coded outerwear. May you slay in style.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12 gigabyte ramped up, run on all engines upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Within a few moments, the game 1 of the day 2 will begin on the screen, and all eyes will be on the latter half of the board, where teams like Global Esports do lie next to Nebula as well. And these two names, they're supposed to be the dominant one in the semifinals, but now they're around the bottom 4. It's completely unexpected.
Completely unexpected and completely not natural, unusual. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm about to say. But once again, Nekro, you got 4 games. You got 4 strong games. That's what I'm saying. You can still qualify. But Team Orangutan, they are also on the verge of elimination too, because they are on that 15th spot.
At this point, it's pretty much like anyone who messes up all the 4 games will be eliminated and maybe in the bottom half of the board, right? But hey, we've got an important news for you guys. You guys can watch the BGMS 2025 multicam feature on Geo Hotstar. You guys can watch those 4 teams that popped up at the bottom left. And of course, you can watch the gameplay from their own POV. And if you want to take some tips down, well, you can of course learn a lot of things.
Easily. And that's the best part, right? Because if you know how they play, if you understand how they play, you can easily implement that in your game. And guess what? Maybe we can see you here on this stage in future. For now, the future is in a bit of trouble for the players of Global Esports because they have to work on their gameplay and their playstyle because it's not working out. Team Hero Extreme Godlike, yes, they are on the 9th spot and they're not that far away from the first page, but their first game matters a lot. If they be able to just get some good points, yes, they'll be in a safe spot.
We had to talk about this yesterday itself. If you want to be around the safety marker, you need to at least cross that 50 points marker itself. Then maybe you can count yourself in that top 12. But as of now, the plane's already hitting the skies. And this time, the plane flight path starting all the way from Primarchs towards the opposite side, which is Mansion. This plane flight path, once again, it's tilted quite the way down south. And if the teams do want to move up north, it's going to be a little bit problematic, a tough stretch.
It certainly is, and the northwestern side is going to be a very difficult spot here to just hold on to and just reach out there. But circle, where the circle will form, that's going to be the first question. Yesterday, the first Erangel zone was literally crazy. That hard shift broke a lot of teams' hearts, and eventually I think so that was one of the reason why some of the teams weren't able to just get that momentum from the get-go, from the first map itself, and struggle throughout the whole day. But this is going to be your final day. This is the final chance. You have to work out, and you have to make sure that you'll get good amount of points so that you can qualify for the grand final.
Those hard shifts in the game 1 were absolutely demonic. Everyone thought that the zone's going to be shifting up north, but then it took a curveball shift all the way down south towards the Snoka military base, and everyone was caught off guard. So many teams were stacked around the northern edge lines, and all the teams that tried to make it down south, majority of them got eliminated. But luckily enough for True Rippers, Genesis Esports, they found themselves on the advantageous side of the spectrum, and they were able to play pretty well. True Rippers especially, they got a lot of points. In the second game, they got a chicken dinner as well, and that's one of the main reasons why now they're in such a comfortable spot in the overall standings. And looking at this entire plane flight path, I was really expecting a lot of drop clashes, but that's not the case. We do see a few teams right next to each other. For example, Hero Extreme Godlike right next to maybe another team that is there in that close proximity, but I highly doubt they will be locking horns.
Genesis and the other team is going to be OnePlus K9 Esports. That's going to be the 2 teams they are close to. Genesis tend to just hunt them every single time when there was that impact player and the bounty on their head. Genesis was that team who tend to hunt down the players of Hero Extreme God. Like for now, Punk and Godzi, they have to figure out a way so that they can escape from this particular compound. Otherwise, they could get sandwiched between the players of Genesis Esports. For now, Gravity and Yash, they got the vehicles. Zap will instantly regroup with his teammates, and if they have a good plan, they can instantly collide against the player of Hero Extreme Godlike. But yes, that's a perfect move. It's better you run away rather getting knocked out in an open in the first zone itself. And yes, Team Genesis, they're in a safe spot, moving away towards a different location.
Hero Extreme Godlike, they were taking those shots, but nothing found yet. For Genesis Esports, once again opting for a slow and steady start, which makes a lot of sense. That's how the lobby's been functioning recently. The moment we shifted towards the semifinals, the early game aggression is dialed down quite a bit, and now everyone wants to play for that chicken dinner, which is quite interesting, especially for the teams at the bottom 4. They need to go on early hunting. That's the only thing that's going to get them a lot of points and make that instant catapult. One elimination point already gathered by the players of K9 Esports. Unfortunately for the players of Sinway, it's quite a bad start.
Although this circle is for the players of Team Sinway, and losing out that one player so early will put them in a weird spot already. Sinway have to make sure that they will get in a better spot, and now the whole squad might get hunted down by the players of OnePlus K9 Esports, so they have to be careful. All the players already moving towards the circle, and the split from 8-bit Necro, take a look at that. Except Beast, the whole squad from 8-bit, they are near towards that Everest, and Beast, he is sitting in Pochinki. That is incredible, by the way. That split is really, really crazy.
Yeah, it's fine though. Probably 8-Bit was scouting for a few vehicles. And the moment they got their hands on the vehicles, now 8-Bit seems pretty good. They've got 3 vehicles to work with, which is exactly the amount of vehicles you need. But 8-Bit, that split, it's now going to be their demise in K9 Esports early hunting pack. You love to see this. K9 Esports on the hunt. This is the K9 Esports we all love to see. And this is the K9 Esports that was missing in the league stage. But now they're back in the semifinals. K9 Esports knows they've got a lot of cushion to work with in the overall standings, and they're going to try to abuse it as much as possible. On the first spot with 48 points already. Oh man, they've already got 3 finish points acquired in the power play. That means it's going to double up to 6.
Oh, this is looking solid, and now they have a total of, what, 54 total points on the overall ranking. And that's what OnePlus K9 Esports is doing, so they're looking too good right now. And that's the problem, that's why I pointed it out. That split was really crazy, and yep, just puts you in a weird spot now. It's just going to be 2 players from the side of Team 8-Bit. We saw in the pre-game segment, we talked about S-Power. Now he will be missed, as well as he'll miss his teammates. But Yasnaya, a big city, tend to be controlled by 2 teams, Versatile Esports and Team Medal. For now, no early fights. I'm happy that OnePlus K9 just doing that, because we are actually missing those first zone fights.
And teams need to take that, especially if you're someone in the latter half of the board. You need to do it.
Oh.
And we're actually seeing K9 Esports go that aggressive. It's quite weird. K9 Esports is already at the top, and the only reason why they've got to leave it to do so, it's because they've got nothing to lose anyways. They're anyways going to qualify no matter what.
Yeah.
We talked about crossing that 50 points marker, and K9 Esports have already done so. So they have pretty much qualified.
And Necronaut, this is very strange. Genesis player, they rotated from the southern side of the map towards Pochinki. The compounds are still not looted yet. Despite that fact, Team 8-Bit thought, let's rotate. What a weird move. What a way you should... This is not the way you should play the game. Now, Yash getting some good amount of utility, so as Hunters. And now 8-Bit, the other 2 players, they got stuck.
I'm pretty sure 8-Bit, the only reason why they dropped in such an extended manner, it's to get their hands on the vehicle. But that's the only reason I assume 8-Bit was looking for. But I still do not know what exactly the game plan was for 8-Bit. If they really wanted to get their hands on the vehicle, there are still quite a few spawns they could have dropped towards. But the only reason why they went towards that northern side is because 8-Bit knew that the plane flat path was not even close to that proximity, and 8-Bit can easily squeeze themselves towards that northern side, get their hands on the vehicle, and then maybe reunite once again.
Dropped near Pochinki area, I remember that. And the plane path was shifting and tilting towards the southern side. Towards the southeastern side, to be specific, Necro. But the problem was, yes, you got the vehicle. Yes, you were contesting for the vehicles. But why would you rotate so early towards Everest and leaving out 2 of your players in Pochinki? That was the question. And eventually you got finished off. So these are some questionable moves, but all right, we lost 2 players moving forward, and that's how the story will continue for Beast and Raiden. Would love to see how they will retaliate and how much they prepared. But Zap, he has to be careful. He's moving inside a very risky compound. Zap, completely unaware about the player, and yes, Beast got served. That's your frag. Meanwhile, OnePlus K9 slug. He also got pinned down. Zap, he lost his life. Gravity also got taken down by Raiden, and now 8-Bit collecting those points in the power play, enjoying those points.
A way to make a bounce back in the game. 8-Bit getting 4 points off the rip. That's a decent start once again for 8-Bit. They bounce back in the fight. They've got the man advantage as well now with them. And Genesis Esports messed up big time. A fight taken down to a 2v2. Genesis Esports had no clue that 8-Bit was there. And the only reason why Genesis Esports moved up towards Pochinki is because they saw the elimination feed. K9 Esports was taking a fight against 8-Bit, and Genesis thought that there's no one inside of Pochinki. That's why they moved up. But it was a massive trap.
Yeah.
And Genesis fell for the bait.
Only 2 players. The young bloods, Yash and Hunters, we know the caliber of these 2 lads. But once again, OnePlus K9 Esports started off pretty good, lost one of your player. And I think so he was too far away from the pack, and that's why you suffered. And the zone is really crazy. From yesterday till this day, the zone is taking those southern hard shift, favoring the Gatka now. And once again, this is Nebula's circle. This is Sinway's circle, and this zone is Aryan's. these three teams, they need to capitalize on this zone so that they can climb up the ladder.
Speaking of Nebula, it's still pretty far away from actually getting towards that closer proximity. Nebula is pretty far away from that zone. Yes, they're making that rotation, which is quite slow. And already all the good spots will be taken the moment Nebula breaches in. That means the only way Nebula can get their hands on a good spot is by taking the fight itself. But I highly doubt that's going to be the case. TWLB is already kicking things off against Sinway as another player falls down. It's such a rough start for the entirety of Sinway, and now Monch is the only man standing. A bad game for them, and TWLB, this should be an easy cleanup. Sinway eliminated from the game completely.
One of the biggest contender is out of this circle. They used to master this circle. They know how to play around Gatka, but they were completely clueless in this fight. And now, Team TWOB, they will be very happy, securing 3 frags. Avi, the IGL himself, collecting 2 for himself. Meanwhile, Hero Extreme Godlike taking that southern shift pretty close to the place of mighty Los Hermanos. So if they heard those vehicles moving towards the safe zone, they can fire some shots onto these lads. But I don't think so that they will face any problem. They are just taking things very slow, and I think so there'll be no problem with that. They'll be quite happy with the zone. But the next fight, it's going to be between Versatile and probably the teams close to them. It could be Genesis, it could be TWOB.
Hero Extreme Godlike.
It's Phoenix.
Now looking to breach in from that southern side. And looking at the elimination feed, Phoenix Esports now, they're the one to get ripped apart. Lost out on the man quite early. And this is going to be a tough fight to convert for Phoenix Esports. They're losing players left, right, center. And what was this trace from Ronnie? Eventually, the knock is still found, but it's Sarang who gets his hands onto it. Phoenix Esports lost out on too many players in this battle, and now they just need a back win. Respect Versatile. That's the only option they've got left. But VXT, what a way to make the pounce and punish the opponents. Solid stuff. Instantly moved up, eliminated the likes of Phoenix Esports. There's still that one man standing, but I highly doubt he can do anything.
And now Versatile, they're taking that revenge from the playoffs, Necro. This was the team who eliminated them in the first zone itself and made sure that they will suffer in the last game. It was the 4th game of that playoff. And now Versatile took that personally, fighting against the players of Phoenix and banning them so that they can confirm that finish. Beautiful, beautiful story.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Getting the revenge right now does not make any sense. Phoenix Esports is in the top 3.
Yeah.
Pretty much comfortable. One decent game and Phoenix Esports can instantly propel themselves in that comfort zone. And for all the audience that are just tuning in towards the broadcast, top 12 is the goal. If you find yourself in the overall standings in the top 12, you qualify for the grand finals. And it should not be tough for all the teams that claim to be some of the best teams out there. It should not be tough for them. True Rippers on the screen. With how things are looking for True Rippers. Even they're in quite the comfort zone in the top 2 of the overall standings so far. Looking extremely good. They've got a decent spot to work around with as well.
Oh no.
Still need to breach inside of the zone, so that's a different story. But Genesis Esports now being hunted by OG. This can be an interesting scuffle that might just brew up soon.
I think Genesis Esports, the players are too quick, and Orangutan, they are just trying to catch up and match the pace up by the players of Team Genesis, but it's better to just move towards the safer compounds rather than just engaging in a very unfavored fight. But Necron, the next fight I'm expecting it's going to be between Global Esports and Metal. Anything can happen, but that's the fight I was looking forward to. That happens. For now, Orangutan, what they are doing? First of all, you were chasing Genesis. Now you're pretty close to the place of Nebula, and now you are trying to save your head getting ripped off from your body, but it seems you are getting closer to the players of Hero Extreme God. Like, that's not a good plan. These players, they are surrounded by 3 different teams, and they haven't stopped yet.
Nebula, though, taking shots against OG. No proper connection yet. Still OG's fine. OG right in front, though. Nebula needs to be a little bit more careful. At this point in time for OG as well, things are not looking that comfortable yet. They're barely on the edge line, on the 12th spot, clinging on to their lives, and these games are extremely important for OG as well. Just winning a third-party tournament in the past, and now if you move on towards the Master Series, and if you mess things up, things will be down the drain. All the form will be washed. But as of now for Nebula, they make the pounce, And OG, yes, they do find the trade, but it's not going to matter. Nebula will be able to squeeze that elimination point and also get that quick revival on the fallen comrade. Things under control. Nebula's looking good.
And now they got the compound too, and that's the worst part. That's what we're talking about, right? You are getting chased down by 3 different teams and now got punished by 1. But Phoenix, he also got knocked out. He needs that revival. Team Nebula, they are taking a lot of damage from the side of Team Hero Extreme Godlike as well as Arden and Mighty Los Hermanos. They're surrounded by 3 different teams, and the same thing happened against the players of Team True Rippers. Necro, this is not looking good. And once again, Orangutan, they are let it get it hunted down by the players of Genesis 2. This is looking worse. And as I was expecting a fight against the players of Global Esports and Team Metal, but True Rippers came in. They are the unwanted ones, and now they got knocked out.
Yeah, True Rippers are now starting to face the brunt. Even the Blues going to be chipping out a lot of damage, so Global Esports needs to be quick on their feet and make it to the safety lines. Same thing can be said for the likes of True Rippers as well. Global Esports, they're facing too much brunt. Second man knocked out. Manya himself is taken down pretty low. Needs to toss out that smoke cover, get himself back up in the HP, and then maybe move out in the open field once again. But Spray God's done for. Global Esports caught off guard in a pretty bad position, and that's the only reason why they're now down to a 3-man squad. But looking at what's going on towards the side of Hero Extreme Godlike and K9 Esports, it's not a good fight for Hero Extreme Godlike. Colliding against a team like K9 Esports, it's never a good idea. And K9 Esports will find ways to punish you. Hero Extreme Godlike, they're on the struggling side of the spectrum, while K9 Esports, they've got a lot of room for work with. And here is the main concern. K9 Esports is now starting to lose that fight, but here is the main problem. Now a big third party is also on the way.
But once again, they were prepared for that fight. Ronnie came in, now he's escaping. He understood that it's not good. It's not looking solid for them to, if they engage in this fight, it might backfire. Edmino with the grenade, not the perfect one. Once again, the final man, Beast, changing his position. Edmino going all in, all alone, and the cover was good from Godzi. That's the end for the players of K9 Esports. That team engaged in the first fight and utilized their power play. That's why they managed to get some frags. But now Team True Rippers, they also get pinned down. And now they eliminated Global Esports. But they have to face the players of Team Metal, and they're not looking solid. They're not looking prepared. Jelly, the final man, the Ideal himself, drops down trying to take the fight, but he got eliminated to Metal. That third party was successful.
Yeah, for True Rippers, it's completely okay. Still in the comfort zone in the overall standings. Things looking good and dandy. You just need to cross that 50 points marker, and you will be easily safe. But for a team like Metal Esports, still pretty far back if you think about it. They've got 32 points in the overall standing so far, and a few points accumulated in this game as well. If Metal Esports has a massive game, they can propel themselves towards the safety marker. Even Phoenix Esports follows up that same phrase. They've been eliminated, but the real problem is for Global Esports now.
Yeah.
That's real concerning, getting eliminated so early in the game with just 1 point acquired. That's really bad. Now they've only got 3 games to prove themselves.
That's it. And also one more fact, the TWOB is there, Victorious Summers is still alive, Nebula, they are still in the game, and they can still topple you down. And now that's not good news for them, and especially for Orangutan too, because they are dropped down to only 2 players, and they can easily get sandwiched between 2 different teams, Victorious Summers and Team WOB.
I was really concerned for Hero Extreme Godlike the moment they made that pounce against K9 Esports, but luckily enough, K9 Esports ended up losing that fight for Hero Extreme Godlike. So at least as of now, they do seem pretty strong, but still haven't breached inside of the zone yet. Hero Extreme Godlike, for them to find a safety cushion inside of the zone, it's going to be next to impossible. But look at Team Aryan taking those shots against Metal Esports. Is there going to be a rescue operation? That's my question. Cyrax constantly chipping away with that damage, but he does not have a lot of bullets left anymore. Just 25 bullets in the magazine. He needs to make every single bullet count. Cyrax will back away towards his teammates. Probably get some spare ammunition, but the problem for Team Aryan is that no one has a lot of ammo anymore.
That's going to be a big problem, especially now the fights will get a little bit nasty and crazy, but what a spray by Edmino there. Managed to get a frag, but Punk, he got knocked out. That was a trade. Hero Extreme Godlike, they are ready to instantly enter and penetrate this safe zone and move and get the circle in their favor, but Henry, he got knocked out too by Sarang. He got spotted out, and Versatile dealt with that lad. Metal on the other side, they are also losing out those players. Metal not looking good. It all comes down to Termi and Altu.
Aryan's compound can be stolen now. Hero Extreme Godlike can directly make a pounce on towards Aryan, and that's what they're doing. Hero Extreme Godlike, perfect approach. And if they do end up winning this fight, this will be perfection personified. knowing exactly when to make that strike. Here, Extreme Godlike, calculated moves. Admino, he needs to thread the needle though. He needs to find that first knock. And if he's not able to thread that needle, then problems will occur. But it's completely fine. Gods, he's able to find that crucial knock. And now Team Aryan, they're down to just that one last player, which is Aryan himself. I highly doubt a lot can be done now for Team Aryan since they've only got one last man standing. They've lost out on too many players in this battle.
But once again, Extreme Godlike, they are out in the open, and now they are spotting out those players that they are also moving. And bonk! That Molotov was perfect! Eliminating the whole squad of Team Aryan, and now you can completely steal the whole compound. One grenade has been lobbed. Galti lost a lot of his HP, another from Saring. And the whole squad has been peppering down those grenades onto those compound. Team Versatile, they are also interested in these compounds. Team Extreme Godlike, they have to be prepared.
Oh, no.
Saring's grenade was perfect. The follow of Molly might shut down Admino.
Godlike was playing a perfect game so far until VXT knocked their doors. And the utilities are now starting to deal too much damage. Oh no, for Versatile. Even they need to be a little bit more careful. They're going up against the players of Hero Extreme Godlike at the end of the day. But the fight's taken down to a 3v3. There's a few more teams around the tail, and they need to be careful of them as well. And as you mentioned, Nebula has moved up close and personal. Hero Extreme Godlike in a big pin scenario. Where can you go?
In all these fights, you're kind of helping the players of Team TWOB Victorious Summers to collect some more points because they are silent. All the 4 players from both the teams, they are still surviving. Similar can be said for the players of Team Nebula. Eventually, Adi, he's cooking that one grenade punk. That's the battle between the Igels and Godzi, creating that big wall of smokes so that he can just utilize that position as an X factor. But I don't think so. The circle will favor them. That's going to be my prediction, Necro. I'm expecting the circle might move towards a certain side.
Not a lot can be done from that given position. Hero Extreme Godlike, they need to find a different shenanigan. But as of now, we've got Victorious Sumis firing those nades against OG, and the utilities will be on the mark. OG's taking a bit too much of damage, and they're not able to sustain all of that. One man falls down, instantly getting confirmed as well. Athanki is taken down extremely low. If one more nade is tossed right next to Athanki, that's going to be it for OG, and that's what happens. Victorious Sumis being the Grim Reapers for OG as they eliminate them from the game.
They end up on the 12th position. That's the worst possible way. TWOB can easily topple them down and take that 12th position from the players of Team OG. Meanwhile, Ronnie getting pinned by R2. That's the final lad from middle, and he's still fighting. Now TWOB Pokar pinning down the players of Team IG. Los Hermanos, the circle. It's not favoring a single player except the players of Victorious Summers. They got the good circle. They got the southern side of the safe zone. But Versatile Esports, they're still there. 10 total frags. And then Jord able to collect the 11th one.
What a knock that was. Clean and precise. Shutting down Nomi from Nebula. And now even Nebula is taken down to a 3-man squad. Everyone that is around the northern side was taken down to a 3-man squad before this fight. But here Extreme Godlike with just 2 players standing. Now Jonathan and Punk, the only 2 men alive. Jonathan was able to find that crucial knock. Ninja Jot's knocked out, but Sarang's going for that revival now. And he luckily enough is back upon his feet. But what proper place Nate's going to find both the pieces. Here Extreme Godlike, this bring back to life. Incredible stuff from them so far. But now they need to cross another wall named Nebula, and that's where the real problems will start to strike. Adi's already able to find that first knockout. Things now down to just Jonathan. Here Extreme Godlike. So far, they're having a fantastic game. If they keep on moving up with the same pace in the overall standings, they will qualify easily in the top 7. Things looking good. But Jonathan, he's going to make the rotation out in the open. I'm not sure how much of a good rotation this is going to be. But soon the man will be taken out, and that's what happens.
Kratos, he's the reason shutting down the players of Team Hero Extreme Godlike. Now we have the top 3 teams. Hero Extreme Godlike end up on the 4th position. That's a good number. They can collect some more good points from the placement. Victorious Summers, hungry for those points. TWOB, they were also needed these points, as well as Nebula. These are the bottom 3 teams, the bottom 6 teams, by the way, looking forward to complete this game. Nebula, 8 points, that's it, but they are looking solid for now.
They indeed are. Victorious Sumis with all the 4 players still standing. TWOB, the same thing can almost be set for them as well, as they've got 3 more men standing. And look at the top 3 of this game. These top three teams are in the bottom three of the overall standings.
Yes.
Which is a good thing if you think about it. Now we are going to see a lot of those comebacks happen as well. Nebula's having a great game. TWB's having a good game as well. Even Victor Sumis, not a lot of elimination points, but still the placement points are going to help them quite a bit. And Mafia is able to find that first knock. That's the threat in the needle. Matt getting knocked out. The confirmation, is it found or not?
It's going to be a perfect thing. This circle is meant for the players of Nebula. They should capitalize this zone and get the chicken. The only problem is Team Victorious Summers, they are looking at a hot form. Avi making a great wall of smoke so that they can move inside the circle. Pokar on the other side doing the same thing. 8 more seconds and then we'll witness the next zone. Which team the zone will favor? That's going to be the question. Thunder got spotted out. Took a lot of damage, but he's still surviving. And the circle is still favoring the players of Nebula.
Indeed it is. Nebula, they've got a massive spread. Kratos, Phoenix, Adi next to each other. TWB even, they've got 3 players standing, but outside of the zone. Nebula is the only team that's got a firm control of the zone as of now. And if Nebula keeps on holding the zone in such a way, other teams will start to suffocate soon. The only reason why Adi's moving around inside of the vehicle is to grab some attention upon himself. And now he's going to move up close and personal against the players of TWB. Shots are taken even against the players of Victor Sumis. Oh, they're taken down to barely any sort of HP. But they still do survive. Victor Sumis does have the man advantage, but now sustaining this spot, it's just going to get even tougher.
You need to utilize those smokes, otherwise you can get knocked out. Look at Mafia barely surviving. Owace repositioning himself. 1 more bullet. Kratos, that would have done the job, but now it's going to be Adi securing that knock. Owace once again repositioning, and this fight is taking too long. Meanwhile, you're also helping the players of Team TWB so that they can move inside the circle. Necro, this zone is so crucial for all these 3 teams. TWB, they're getting pinned down. Thunder getting that frag. Pokar got knocked out, but you've got to revive your own teammate. Cheyenne out in an open. Again, tanked a lot of damage, and Thunder might steal that finish.
Oh, no.
Out of bullets.
Pokar, he's out in the open. There's
That's
no way
it.
the man's going to be saved. Thunder gets knocked out as well in return, but now Victor Sumis, Cheyenne and Oace, the only 2 men standing. We thought Victor Sumis has the most advantage, but the way Nebula played this final few instants, it's insane. Nebula played it perfectly, had 3 players spread themselves out, got as much control as possible, and started suffocating those teams. Started to get a firm grip around the necks of the foes. Utilities as well, now dishing out a lot of damage. And always closing up towards the fallen comrade, but a well-placed nade from Adi. It's going to find another knock. Victorious Sumis now down to just a 2-man squad. Nothing can be done. TWB with just that 1 player, which is Mac. And Mac's goal is to survive in the top 2. That's all the man wants to do. He just wants to squeeze himself in the top 2. But Victorious Sumis, if they do manage to get things under control, it will be insane. But Nebula now having the man advantage, they definitely do seem like the freaks of nature, the unstoppable force. If Nebula is able to shut down TWB, it's their game, straight up. Yep, now it's Nebula's game.
It's done. It's surely done. Victorious Summers against the all odds. They have to move inside the circle. They don't have the vehicles. They don't have the smokes. They don't have any sort of utilities. Thunder haven't boosted himself up, and yes, that's why he's just still on 75% of his HP. And yep, this is Nebula's game. Necro, from the previous zone itself, we have pointed that out because it was favoring the players of Nebula. Adi was so good with his rotation, collecting all sort of information and now helping his teammates to get the first chicken of these semi-finals for the players of Nebula, and that's the support we wanted. Before this match, I had a conversation with Adi and I asked him what went wrong, and he was like, not my day. But trust me, promise, I will make sure that I will showcase the similar amount of dominance I had showcased you guys, and, you know, told everyone that what Nebula is all made up of, and hey, that's an anticlimactic end.
Hey, it was quite a decent game, even for the side of Victor Sumis though, right? Getting what, around like 10 or 11 points in that game? It does seem like it's not a lot of points since you managed to squeeze yourself in the top 2, but it was a massive performance for Nebula. And this sort of performance is definitely going to catapult you quite high in the overall standings. Beautiful stuff from them.
Certainly.
Victorious Sumis in the top 2, TWB as well in the top 3. These were the teams in the bottom 4, and they have managed to perform pretty well. But Global Esports, for them, the concerns are still there. If the teams underneath them are now starting to perform, that means Global Esports now will be shifted down all the way at the bottom.
As well as Orangutan, once again, that's going to be a bad start for them because they got eliminated in a bit early. What, in 9th and 8th position, I think so. Probably that's the position they got finished off. Got eliminated by the players of Team TWOB and they got close to finish points too. So that's the perfect start for these three teams. And that's the way it ended. Let's take a look at the final blow. Kratos looking in a hot shot form. And before this match, I had, I told you, right? Kratos and Phoenix, they'll be unstoppable.
I mean, with the way Victor Sumis was playing in the final few moments, I generally do feel like, yeah, Victor Sumis, given the position they had, they should have known that they cannot really do a lot. In my opinion, Victor Sumis should have been a little bit more aggressive, sit inside of their vehicles, maybe spread themselves out a bit more. Things could have been different. But for now, let's move on to the stage with a quick little interview with the winners of that game.
मैं वो नेता हूं जो वादे सिर्फ करता नहीं उन्हें निभाता भी हूं भाई टू वॉक द टॉक इज द टफेस्ट थिंग इन द वर्ल्ड आपने वो कर दिखाया है अब आपको थोड़ी सी राहत मिल रही है कि यस अब हम लोग वो निचले पायदान पे थे वहां से अब ऊपर उठना स्टार्ट हो चुके हैं
राहत तो काफी मिल रही है बस स्टार्टिंग में मैंने अपने टीममेट्स को ये समझाया था कि भाई कहीं पे भी हो मेरे को तुम पे भरोसा है तुम मेरे पे भरोसा रखो अपन कर लेंगे बस वही
आदि लेकिन काम अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि अभी इमारत की बस पहली मंजिल जो है वो बनी है अभी थोड़ी और इमारत जो है वो ऊंची बनानी होगी आगे के 3 मैचेस अब आप क्या बोलने वाले हैं अपनी टीम से क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं है कंप्लीटली आउट ऑफ डेंजर ऑफ कोर्स चिकन डिनर निकाला है आपको ज्यादा पॉइंट्स मिले हैं लेकिन देखिए किसी का भी दिन हो सकता है और किसी की भी बाजी हो सकती है
बस मैं अपनी टीम को यही बोलूंगा कि बस यही माइंडसेट रखो यही मेंटालिटी कंटिन्यू रखो अपन आराम से क्वालिफाई होंगे
आदि कैसी फीलिंग है भाई चैलेंजर्स की टीम कोई नाम नहीं ले रहा था यहाँ पे आके सबकी बातों को ना सिर्फ झुटलाना लेकिन उनके मुंह पे ताला लगाना
फीलिंग तो बहुत ज़्यादा ही बढ़िया है बस इतना है कि लोग बहुत ज़्यादा ही डाउट कर रहे थे अभी कल का दिन ख़राब चले गया तो और ज़्यादा लोग हेटर्स ज़्यादा बढ़ गए हैं तो कल खुश हो गए आज खुश नहीं होने दूंगा
एक नसीहत मिल गई है इस पहले मैच से और वो मैं आपके सामने अब रखना चाहूंगा कि नेबुला के पास ना आना बर्बाद हो जाओगे 3 मैचेस बचे हुए हैं दूसरा मैच आ रहा है बस थोड़ी देर में
Okay, so let's say you find this little number in a loot box. Before you slay the competition, slay the fit. Here, get ready with me. Press the power button on your Android to activate Gemini and ask for styling tips. How do I style this jacket for a casual look?
For a casual look, pair this jacket with jeans and a white, black or grey t-shirt. Complete the outfit with either boots for a rugged vibe or clean sneakers for a modern, relaxed feel.
Boom! Conquer coded outerwear. May you slay in style.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards. Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back after that short break, and after watching Nebula, Victor Sumis, and even TWOB establish that comeback, now it seems like a few teams are going to start to move down in the overall standings. You brought up OG, I brought up Global Esports, and yeah, for both the teams, it was quite a shaky game, right?
I think so. Similar can be said for the players of 8-bit too, because they struggled. Eventually, they managed to get 4 points by eliminating 2 players from Team Genesis. But once again, that's just a false hope. You need a good game. You need a perfect game, just like the way Nebula played, right? Just like the way TWB managed to get into the top 3, as well as Victorious Sim is managing to, just collecting some more points. And I think so that the fact that inclusion of Thunder, I don't think so that's a problem. All right, whatever happened, that's a past, right?
Yeah.
For now, his job is to make this team, better and collect some more points, and he did that. Appreciate Thunder for that.
And in my opinion, at this point in time, for Victor Sumis, they also need to amp up that aggression, right?
Yeah,
imagine Victor Sumis was able to squeeze, around 10 points when they got in the top 2. And it's not like you will be able to get in the top 2 in every single game.
Exactly.
That's not a good play style to have. If you are going to amp up that aggression, if you're going to go for those elimination points, maybe you will be able to secure those 10 points much more easier and quicker.
But I think so in this particular map, all right, Victorious Summons, they know
it's a
how
good
they're
start.
going to play. It's a good start, and now you can easily, move forward to play aggressive. And if you're talking about aggressive, Heroes team godlike. They were looking aggressive. They were looking solid. The way they slammed into the compound of Team Arden was so good, eliminated them, and then they had a fight against a VXC. Oh my God, Johnny's grenade was so beautiful.
And it's a little bit concerning, right, for Team Arden as well. They did not even have a lot of ammunition to keep up with the pace of the lobby. And if that's the case, then Team Arden, they need to spend a little bit more time in looting up and then maybe going towards the zone. Yes, I do understand Team Arden wants to be the quicker one. They want to be the first one to have that good compound. But if you just do not really have the bullets to sustain that positioning, what's the use of getting that position?
I agree with that fact, right? If you know you got the position, if you know you have everything, you should defend it. You should be prepared for everything. But all right, that's a way the game plays. And yeah, Beast. I think so. Zap was going to be really angry after that. Like, what are you even doing, man? Play
I'm pretty
like
sure.
a proper player.
Yeah, just like Snakes, 8-Bit was positioned, just camping in those houses. And unfortunately for Genesis Esports, they just walked straight into a trap. And Genesis Esports, this should have been a good game for them. Genesis Esports is another one of those teams. Let's be honest, the form is degrading for them. It's not the Genesis Esports we saw in the week 1 of the league stage. They were absolutely dominating, going guns blazing in that league stage. But now, if you look at the transition, it's quite concerning. It's quite problematic.
And we can see some discussion, and the players are not agreeing to each other. I think so they could have secured a good zone, and eventually Victorious is just giving their 2 frags away to the blue zone. And yes, I agree, Genesis completely lost their temperament, completely lost their flow, as well as the way they used to play. But I really hope that they will bounce back. They're in a good spot before this particular match. They were on the 8th spot, and Hero Extreme Godlike were there to just challenge them. And I think so they will eventually topple them down and be able to just secure that good spot on the first page of the overall ranking. But I'm more concerned about the teams who are at the 11th to the final 16th spot.
Yeah, if you're especially around that 12th or the 11th spot, we all know it's probably one of the most anxiety-inducing positions to be in, because you never know when you can be kicked down. You never know, one bad step and you can instantly move down in the overall standings. But if you're somewhere around 8th or maybe around the top 4, you pretty much have that cushioning to work with. Even if one game is bad, you know you will not be kicked outside of the top 12.
That is true. And you know what? That is the only reason why you can just experiment and do whatever you want, just like the way OnePlus K9 as well as Team True Rippers did. Eventually, they end up in the first stage. They got eliminated too early, but it doesn't matter. You got a good cushion. You can just do whatever you want, and that's the way you should play. But from the next match onwards, the Sana, it's going to be a crazy one. And this team, oh my God, Orangutan, you have to work your things out. Otherwise, this is going to be really difficult for you guys.
OG's got a lot to say to each other, right? Imagine a team that won a tournament completely in a dominating affair. By dominating, I mean they won that tournament in a one-sided manner.
I agree.
Day 1 of the grand finals, OG dominated, got 97 points in 6 games. Day 2, OG was able to keep up the consistency, got around 150 points. And we all knew OG's going to be the champion before we even headed towards the Day 3. And that's how dominating the OG won that grand finals. But now if you compare that OG towards this BGMS OG, it's not the same OG anymore. It's not matching at all.
And especially the way they started their BGMS journey, right? They had a good start. They were on the #1 spot and everything just fell down from that position. All right, AKOP, they had an introduction. In fact, had an interview on the stage itself, and he said, all right, it's going to be like that only. We will continue with the momentum. The fights were not good. The lobby's not that crazy. The lobby's not that hard. But come on, the lobby is too brutal now.
And if you've noticed, since AKOP is not able to perform, the entirety of OG is not able to perform, right?
Yeah.
We do see, I think, you trying his best to keep things maintained, but it's really tough for just that one man to try and get things done. Even Viscott's not able to play that well. AKOP's form, it's starting to fade away. Aru, of course, the man is the ideal. He's trying his best to get those good rotations done. But for OG, if they really want to have that good performance, every single player needs to have that good performance and also function well like a well-oiled machine. But something that's going to help you with your English is also going to be the Duolingo English test, which is trusted by 6,000 plus universities worldwide. So I'd recommend you guys to take that test. But back towards the conversation that we're having, right? For OG, they need to wake up straight up. I'm speaking about Viscott and AKOP. If they're not functioning well enough, the team's going to dip down.
It certainly is going to happen, right? And you know what? Whatever you're going to say, okay, this didn't work out, that doesn't work out, that's going to be counted as excuses by all the audience out there. You have to work on your game plan. Because in this particular map too, while you were rotating, we have pointed that out, that you are rotating alongside 3 other teams too. And those were the halt location for those 3 teams, and they will eventually just try to pepper you down, try to shut you down, and they were successful. One of them is going to be Nebula, the other team was Team RN. Eventually you thought that, alright, we'll be a little bit safe, but that wasn't the case. Lost 2 players in the early stage, and eventually you just got eliminated by the players of Team TWOB. But once again, alright, one game happened, bad things happened. Now moving forward, I hope the next map is going to be good for them. But hey, Nebula, this match was even better. 18 points already, TWB 14 points, Victorious is 10, and now on the 3rd and 1st spot, we got VXT and
Interesting.
Godlike.
I mean, Nebula getting 18 points, of course that's going to help them catapult so higher in the overall standings. You move on towards TWOB getting 9 finish points and 5 placement points. That's going to give them 14 points in total. It was quite a decent game even from the side of TWOB. VXT as well getting quite a lot of those points. But as I mentioned, for Victorious Sumis, even though they managed to squeeze themselves in the top 2, they only had 3 finishes. And that's why they only had 9 points in that game.
They have to just collect some more points. Single digits, yes, but 9. Once again, 9 is not the perfect number. You could have secured more, could have, opted for some early fights, but once again, the leaderboard looking solid. Genesis still retaining that position. That is solid. Not even a single change here. Phoenix Esports, eventually they dropped down, by the way. They were on the 3rd spot. Versatile Esports took their spot, 42 points in their back. And in this particular situation, Medal also got some points. Altu, in the end, he secured some good frags for himself and for his team. But Genesis, yes, on the 8th position, Nebula Esports, and this is looking interesting though.
You know what, speaking about Phoenix Esports, they only need 15 points in 3 games, and it's pretty easily doable.
Yeah.
I don't think a team like Phoenix Esports now is going to be choking, since they've got the wind of the sails, and they know exactly what they want to do to try and make sure they qualify towards the grand finals. Latter half is now on the screen, and 8-bit, they're in the bottom 4. Welcome, buddy. You've also got Victorious Sumis right there, OG and Global Esports. While we spoke of Nebula, they've already made it up top in the top 12.
Yeah.
You spoke about TWOB, they've already made it as well. But what happened to 8-bit, Global Esports, and OG? Some of the strongest names, some of the strongest contenders in the BGMS Season 4 now lie underneath.
I don't know what we're going to say, alright. Lack of confidence, lack of preparation, I don't know. They have to prepare for the next map. We have to prepare for that too. The next map is going to be here in a very short break.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Okay, so let's say you find this little number in a loot box. Before you slay the competition, slay the fit. Here, get ready with me. Press the power button on your Android to activate Gemini and ask for styling tips. How do I style this jacket for a casual look?
For a casual look, pair this jacket with jeans and a white, black or grey t-shirt. Complete the outfit with either boots for a rugged vibe or clean sneakers for a modern, relaxed feel.
Boom! Conquer coded outerwear. May you slay in style.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
After watching so many fluctuations in the overall standings, one thing is for sure, now the heart's starting to race. And all the fans of Global Esports, OG, they're starting to pray to their gods and hoping that they will make a bounce back in the overall standings. But watching this Wicked Ride right here, it's definitely going to give you the goosebumps. And especially speaking about the Wicked Ride, the Wolverine and the Deadpool variant, man, it's probably one of the best colors out there. It's probably one of the best variants out there for this bike. But back towards what I was trying to say, now as we're seeing the fluctuations, one thing is for sure, even if Nebula did get that chicken dinner, they're not too safe yet.
They certainly are not, Necro, because anything can happen. One good game, if it helped you to climb up the ladder, the same thing can happen with other teams too, especially if they are on the bottom. But these four teams, if you want to look at their POE, how they play, if you want to get inspired and collect some experience, you can easily check that out through the multicam feature in Geo Hotstar. And hey, Mania, what a storyline for this lad, right? Got two trophies of BGMS, despite of the fact he's on the verge of elimination.
Let's not forget, this lineup was formed right before this tournament too.
Oh yeah.
But hey, something that's going to help you guys with your gameplay is also going to be the OnePlus 13. It's a device that the players are playing on, and of course they're having a blast, and of course having the smoothest gaming experience out there. But back towards the conversation that we're having, right?
Yeah.
Overall, with how things are looking like for Global Esports, I mentioned this, in the Game 1 itself, Global Esports likes to dominate. The Game 1's already done. Now you move on towards the Game 2, and usually, Game 2 onwards, Global Esports' form starts dipping down. But I hope that's not going to be the case this time. Global Esports needs a lot of points in the overall standings, and the only way they will gain those if they start taking advantage of the power play. And without wasting any more time, we're straight up going to jump in towards the map of Miramar. And this time, the plane's going to be in the skies once again. And in general for Miramar, we know this is going to be quite a slow and steady map. It's going to be quite a slothy map initially.
And this plane path, look at that! Oh my god, this is going to be really annoying for all those teams. In fact, most of the teams. Just look at that plane path, Necro. Just starting from the eastern side and heading towards the western side of the map. And once again, this is going to be crazy. Just look at that. Completely favoring that certain side. What a flight path this is.
For a moment, I thought the plane flight path starting all the way from Camp Militar, but now looking at it, it's even worse.
Yeah?
A lot of these teams are going to be choked now, and probably forced to go for that drop clash. A lot of these teams cannot really reach areas like El Pozo, Hacienda del Patron, Power Grid, Picado. They will need to go for that pit stop, and we might just see a lot of those pit stop collisions. And I'm a big fan of those. Teams trying to get their hands on the basic weaponry, get their hands on the vehicles. And those clashes can definitely be quite spicy.
Los Leon is going to be a hotspot too. Nebula, they tend to drop towards El Pozo, and now we might see them in a fight too. Team Arden, so close to the players of VXT. Victorious Summers, they're also pretty close to the players of Team True Rippers in the previous map. They got good points. Both the teams, they are in a good spot for now. But look at that. Well, Adimar, it's going to be a hot spot too. A lot of teams might move towards that particular area. And oh, Nebula completely out of the safe zone, moving towards the prison island. And they'll be pretty safe. The circle is still favoring Picado, kind of in the center of the safe zone. Sinway's going to be very happy with the safe zone, but can't say the same thing for the players of Team Global Esports. Pretty close to the players of Orangutan, and both the teams, they are on the verge of that elimination factor.
Oh, I already do hear that Winchester clicking off. Who is it able to find the knock against? K9 Esports is on the screen, and we all know K9 shenanigans. In the first game, started things off with quite a fiery note, and now looking at K9 Esports, oh man, I'm not sure what they can do. They're already at the top. Think if you're K9 Esports, Phoenix, what would you do? Things are already going your way. You're already at the top. You've pretty much qualified. If you are K9, will you start targeting teams that are struggling?
Right off the bat, I will do that.
I know,
Because
right?
once again, you need to shut down that competition. Orangutan is one of the biggest competition. Global Esports, they got, like Manya, he got 2 trophies. Why not just eliminate that biggest competition? So this is my time. I would love to do that. But I don't think so. K9 Esports would do the same. What about you? Would you do
Of course.
the same? Yeah.
I would do the same thing, right? Imagine if Manya gets to the grand finals somehow.
Yeah.
That's going to be a nightmare. The man, there's a big chance he might snatch away that trophy.
Again.
Imagine if OG gets to the grand finals. Oh boy, that's going to be another massive nightmare. If 8-Bit gets there, Salmaraj and the boys, it's not even a question. They're probably one of the most formidable competitors out there. If I was K9, I would start targeting them all. But as of now, for K9 Esports, Global Esports is right next to him. And maybe what we were talking about, there's a chance it might just happen. But something that might happen to you guys, it's also you can't spin and unlock the Nixon Sinistra set. But with how things are looking like, Global Esports! Oh man, dropping down! K9! With how the fight kicked off for Global Esports, it's not a good look at all. Global Esports is already struggling, and down 2 players, K9 Esports is going to try to press the matters.
We didn't predict it, we manifested it, and that's what K9 is going to do. Meanwhile, Phoenix Goten, he has been eliminated in Omega. Look at that position, phenomenal. Edbino meanwhile got the first frag. Omega pinning down the players of Global Esports. This is looking worse. Got another knock. Spray God is again down. Troy receiving a lot of damage. Omega falls short, but that's the end. Global Esports, once again, they got eliminated. But they are the first team who faced an elimination. OnePlus K9 Esports getting all those frags, as well as they got those frags in power play. 6 already. What a start for them.
Who was able to claim that 1 elimination point from Global Esports, though?
Interesting, by the way.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Where did that 1 elimination point go?
I think so. He just finished him off. That one lad, the final
Did
player.
OG take it?
Nah, OG, he was too far away.
If I'm not wrong, OG had 13 points, right? And now they've got 17. Wait, no.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't add up. Wait, I'm a
Exactly.
little bit confused. I guess
I
the
think
DOA status.
What a
is
way
a little
to
bit
drive
confusing.
your vehicle.
But yeah, for Hero Extreme Godlike,
They got Phoenix, one of the lad from Phoenix. That's Goten, by the way.
the first game was great for them, right? And now with how things are looking like for Hero Extreme Godlike in the overall standings, they're extremely comfortable in the top 6.
Certainly.
Even if they drop down on 1 game, it's not going to hurt them at all. They would still be in the top 8 no matter what.
But their rotation, Negro, it's pretty interesting, right? In the previous match itself, they were pretty close to the players of mighty Los Hermanos. So I think so it's pretty common that the way Punk and the whole squad is thinking, that's the kind of similar thinking of the players of mighty Los Hermanos. They tend to collide against each other too often. Although, you can say that too, yes, they might be chasing the players of Phoenix Esports because they got 1 frag of them. They finished off Goten, but seems like, once again, the stars aligned and they are so close as
Shadow
mighty
is
Los
pinned.
Hermanos.
Shadow is pinned. The man's got nowhere to go, but Evil, he's on the tail as well. Hero Extreme Godlike needs to be careful. If they do try to pin down Shadow even more, I'm pretty sure Evil from the back will try and execute the Evil plans. And that's what's happening. Hero Extreme Godlike's already making that pounce against that one isolated player of Mighty Los Hermanos, and he's got nowhere to go. The moment Hero Extreme Godlike finds out that it's just Shadow standing in front of him, they instantly push up and find that confirmation. The man's knocked out, but not eliminated yet. A shank That will be his elimination. Hero Extreme Godlike, though, now the tables are going to be flipped against him as they're the one to be pinned underneath. But luckily enough, they instantly try to break through the shackles, and they somehow make it happen as well. Mighty Los Hermanos dropping down bodies in this game. But Hero Extreme Godlike's aggression, it's hard to overrule it.
And now Phoenix, they heard those shots, and that's why they're getting close to the players of Hero Extreme Godlike. But they have to be careful. Jahan with a grenade of his own. Johnny, he needs to be careful. Kind of unaware about the situation. But hey, he spots out Jahan. And a bit of damage. Repositions once again. Now cooking one of his own grenade, but completely unaware where Jahan is. Lobbed one of his own. Is it good? No. Jahan, untouched yet. Still surviving. Stun in his backpack. Adrenaline syringe. Jonathan is applying that and not cancelled it. Thought that might be a push from Jahan. But look at Archit where he is. He could get pinned between Admino and Godsi. This is not looking good for the players of Phoenix. And yes, Jonathan, that's a fight. And he wins it. Meanwhile, Punk, he got knocked out.
It indeed isn't looking good. Hero Extreme Godlike down 2 players, but they've got 2 more standing. Archit falls down as well for Phoenix Esports. Numbers not adding up for Phoenix Esports that well anymore, but Hero Extreme Godlike things can still be recovered.
10 points already, by the way.
Phoenix has only got Ashe once again standing, and Ashe, as usual, just creating that separation between himself and the teammates. Phoenix Esports back-to-back bad games. You cannot take these games for granted, Phoenix. You're dropping down in the position. K9 Esports, 3 players next to each other. Beast, Ninja Boy, and Slug. Where is Omega? But K9, the ball to be kick-started things off with a bang. Team Aryan is also desperate for the points, but Ninja Boy falls down as well. Things now quite back and forth, but Slug, he still replies back. What a way to shut down the competition, even though you were in a massive disadvantage.
Oh, the power play is over. So as Aryan and Cyrax, that's the end for them. Henry, the final lad. The circle moves towards the players of VXT once again. Shadow knows how to control this circle. Shadow knows how to take control of the safe zone. Henry got his vehicle and now moving away. By the way, Hero Extreme Godlike got 7 frags, and now that's the end. 2 of the big names out of the lobby. Global Esports.
Oh my god,
Mighty Los Hermanos and Team Aryan.
Team Aryan was on the 12th spot before this game. And now after this game, there's a chance they might just move down even more.
Yep.
These fluctuations in the overall standings, they're quite drastic, Phoenix. A lot of big names dropping out. And imagine if Team Aryan is the one to drop outside of BGMS Season 4. That will be a massive nightmare.
Necro, just look at that. Both the teams who got 7 finishes, they are on the first and the second spot. It's K9 versus Hero Extreme Godlike. Both the teams creating menace for all these teams. And this is looking fabulous, by the way, for Hero Extreme Godlike and the fans for Godlike too. But Hydra out in an open, receiving a lot of damage. Spotted out. Jayan, the spray! Oh my god, Hydra, the switch up. Forgot to prone down, but now he has grenade in his hand. Thunder is there to revive his fallen comrade, but I think so the grenade might work. Yes, it will! Cheyenne eliminated. Thunder knocked out. Victorious Sumis not looking good on the 14th spot.
Oh no, True Rippers moving him close and personal in tandem against Victorious Sumis. Mafia, the only man pinned inside of this house, and Mafia can't do a lot. But luckily enough, he does have the Molotov. That's going to at least force the players to play back a little bit more. But Mafia drops down this time, and the nade's going to find the knock. Mafia's doing a lot of damage, and he might just bounce back in the game once again. 2 knocks on the board. He brings Victorious Sumis back in the race. And Victorious Sumis, they somehow managed to overrule the players of True Rippers. But TWOB are also here with that third party. True Rippers Hydro is the only man standing. Victorious Sumis did a lot of damage, but were not able to come out on top in that fight.
Hydro still surviving, and I think so that would be the final end for him. Vishu getting knocked out by his own Molotov, but hey, TWOB managed to get the final frag. True Rippers takes an exit, but I don't think so that they won't mind this early exit because they are still on the 2nd spot.
Oh my god.
Might get snatched by Hero Extreme Godlike, but what an end, what a fight! Eventually, didn't favor the players of Victorious Sumis, by the way. 8-bit and Orangutan, this is their map. Topple down the top 2 teams, and now you can easily get in a safer spot.
Unfortunate for them. The next zone's going to be popping up within a few seconds. And it's going to be the main thing that will drive the entire game. And the zone's going to shift right on top of the players of VXT. VXT, the positioning's immaculate. But now they will need to try and reunite once again. You cannot keep on playing around that same spot. There's going to be a lot of teams starting to rack up around you, and VXT needs to be in full force to face all of that wrath.
Versatile. I think so. It's better than just control of the circle. You are in the center of the circle. You can easily be the center of attraction too, but they're not backing off. They're still engaging in those fights. Sinway, by the way, they're also challenging the same spot. And now the safe zone is a little bit tricky. Genesis also moving inside the circle. Shadow with the spray could have been better. Pinning down the players inside the vehicle. Sinway escaping. Shadow about to turn down the whole squad into the gravestones. And yes, one more bullet will do the job. Come on, Shadow, the reload was the worst time. But hey, Ninja John, he got you back.
He threats the needle, finds the knock. Man's eliminated from the game. Another man is still out in the open. Sinway, they're done for. They're like 3 points waiting to be claimed. His teammates tossing out a tail of smokes in the hopes that maybe they can still make the great escape of Versatile. The call's already made. They're going to push up close and personal and claim those elimination points and eliminate the entire existence of Sinway.
This is looking good for the players of VXT once again. And easily solidify their position and can get the 50-pointed mark already. The cutoff, what I was expecting is 45 points. And slowly and steadily, they are about to surpass that. 44. One more to do that. Nebula, meanwhile, also making a move on the 10th, in fact 9th spot with 26 points. One more frag, and you can topple down the players of Genesis and steal their position. Genesis, by the way, Necro, come on. This team needs to back up. They need to understand that what is the importance of these matches. Eventually, only 4 teams will get eliminated, and the sword of death is onto the players of Victorious Sumis, Team Aryan, Global Esports, Orangutan is also there, but still you are safe. But to be honest, in this game, if 8-bit and OG plays better, I think so it could be you.
You are safe, but not too safe. But as of now, with how things are really shaping out, Nebula as well can be the potential winners for this game. Yeah, still playing 2 around the edges. But generally speaking, if the zone is going to be favoring the players of Nebula, if it does take that another shift, Nebula can definitely be the one to scoop a lot of elimination points away and can be the cleanup group. Shutting down the members of Versatile first and then traversing on forward. Even Genesis Esports, they're on that redemption arc. The first game wasn't great. Genesis Esports is still pinned on that 8th spot. Genesis is desperate for those points, but Versatile, they found themselves in the worst possible spot. Especially Ronnie, the man's pinned out in the open. He's got nowhere to go.
And now look at the rotation here, Extreme Godlike. They got the Northern Control. Punk provided his team the perfect safe zone, the perfect circle to get some more points. Genesis, you got the circle too. TWOB, Avi, props to him. Getting the center of the safe zone too. VXT. Now they have to make a move so that they can be inside the circle too. OnePlus K9 Esports. The southern side is completely empty, but OG, how will they enter inside the circle? That's going to be my question.
Good question. But as of now, the main focus is on the players of Versatile. There's TWOB right next to VXT, and they need to be a little bit careful of them. Spotting out TWOB right next to him. Positioning from TWOB has been immaculate. First game as well, TWOB found themselves in that green zone. Now as well, they found themselves in that safety marker. In the smack center as well. Hero Extreme. Godlike is also in quite a good spot. Nebula around the top left. But having a look at the replay on exactly how Global Esports got eliminated. Unfortunately for Global Esports, they ended up colliding against the entire force of K9. And we all know, K9's got nothing to lose. They are going to be those naughty bunch.
Yeah. K9. Look at that smile on Omega. Look at that smirk. He knows what he did. He completely understands that. Meanwhile, afterwards, bye-bye to the players of Phoenix Esports. Got 40 points, and I think so Metal and Genesis can easily get the top 6 spot.
2 games already done. Global Esports has only 14 points. That means in the upcoming 2 games, they need 20 points per game, Phoenix.
Oh my god.
Which is a lot of points. And if Global Esports does not achieve that average, we all know they will be eliminated from the BGMS Season 4. But hold on to that thought. 8-bit! Oh, the amount of damage they've taken themselves is also not looking good. Somraj falls down. The off angles really punishing 8-bit. They've got nowhere to go. Players dropping down like flies, and Nebula is the one to come out on top. S-Power now the only man standing. No one from 8-Bit was able to get any sort of damage dished out. Nebula, 3 players looking extremely strong. And S-Power soon, the man's going to be pounced on as well. He's got nowhere to go. S-Power's being forced in a defensive stance. But just one man can't really handle the entirety of Nebula. A team that's in a red-hot form. Utilities are also chipping out a lot of damage. Another nade tossed, and that's going to do the deed.
Oh, you saw S-Power's face cam, right? You saw the player cam. He was angry, he was furious, he was not happy. And it's aage able to collect all those frags. 3 in total. The Agile stepping up big time, getting all those points for his teammates. Genesis, meanwhile, they are pinning down the players of Nebula. Also, they are fighting Hero Extreme Godlike at the same time, because they got the angles. But Tommy got eliminated by the blue.
8-Bit needs an average of 15 points per game in the upcoming 2 games.
Very difficult.
It's next to impossible to achieve, given the form that 8-Bit has.
Then you have to expect the other team also play worse, bad.
And if OG ends up winning this game, it just gets even worse.
Yep, certainly.
Victor Sumus moves down. Victor Sumus, this is what I mentioned, right? If you're not going to be playing aggressive, you will not be able to qualify. It's pretty much the same thing. In my opinion, you need to update the strat book. You've got players who does pack a lot of punch. And as I mentioned, if you consider yourself one of the D1 teams, if you consider yourself one of the top tier teams, getting in the top 12 should not be easy for you.
OG, we saw the player cam, we saw Prem is there, and Ronak, the lucky charm himself, in the player area too, supporting his teammates. OG collected 3 frags. Necro, I completely agree with the fact Victorious Simmons, they have to pass themselves up. They got 2 games in the back and that's it. These are the decided games. For now, Genesis kind of fight against the players of Nebula. And this is the fight for the zone. This is the fight for the safe circle. This is the fight for the 5th stage. Hunters with the suppressor on that AUG. Oh, missing every single shot onto Phoenix. You have to be careful. He's a really risky guy. And Atanki, meanwhile, falls short. Phoenix was targeting someone else. And Phoenix, he got knocked out by Aru. And that's the retaliation. Hey, Aru is angry. You have to be careful now.
OG, this is the only chance they're going to have to make a bounce back. This game of Miramar, it's looking good for them. But now OG needs to make a mad dash. The Weekle's smoking. And if they mess up even once, it will be exploded. OG's out in the open. This is such a risky rotation. Aru falls down. Wiscott's taken down pretty low. AKOP's out in the open. OG's getting dismantled. That's it for OG. Stopped in tracks and eliminated from the game. Blunders after blunders from these top tier teams. What is going on with them?
Worst. That's the worst end for them. Orangutan. And look at that. All the teams from 12th to 16th spot, they got eliminated. TWOB, now they can strengthen their lead. Now they can move forward. And now they can increase the gap between them and the teams who are in the bottom 4. But Nebula versus Genesis, an incredible fight.
At least the good thing is the bottom 4 is going to be the same. TWOB, with that positioning they've got, they're once again playing it anonymous. They're once again playing it extremely passive.
Perfect.
The zone is constantly shifting right on top of them for TWOB. Somehow they're able to squeeze in those good positionings. But Nebula, they're playing completely on their firepower. And this time they might just be dismantled. Nomi is the first one to get knocked out. Kratos will be the second one. A systematic dismantle from Genesis Esports. 2 players already down for Nebula. Adi in the backlines. Now the man's trying to play hide and seek. He's going to back away, run away from this spot. He knows he needs to at least squeeze in a few placement points. Nebula already has an okayish amount of finished points.
It's Adi who got 3 points for them. And now in total they have 5, and it all comes down to Adi so that he can just collect some more 30 more seconds, and then we will see where the circle will move. Meanwhile, in all these fights, we haven't seen Hero Extreme Godlike yet. They got stuck in those 7 frags, but they will bounce back. Meanwhile, OnePlus K9 Esports shutting down everyone, and as you love to say, dismantling everyone in the server. 10 frags already. Slug is looking in a hot form right now.
Honestly, K9 Esports, they're just on a hunt, straight up. They're like the bounty hunters. All the teams who are desperate, K9 Esports is hunting them down, picking them and ripping them apart, systematically. K9 Esports for them, even if they do not end up winning the game, it's completely fine. They've already qualified. If they do not even play the last 2 games, they've already qualified. That's how much of a cushion K9 Esports currently has. Genesis Esports towards the top left. Hero Extreme Godlike on the northern side. For Hero Extreme Godlike, probably aiming for the victory straight up. Nebula also got eliminated around that same territory. Nebula was only able to squeeze in, like, what? 5 elimination points? That's the only amount of points Nebula has. But at least those 5 points are going to help Nebula sustain the same spot.
I think so Nebula in a decent spot. And I don't mind if they fall short on the 10th spot too, because they can bounce back now. They got the momentum, they got the frags in the early stage, and now they'll be very happy with this performance. But teams like TWOB and Sinway, this is their time. By the way, Sinway is still alive, barely surviving on just 2 players. Genesis on the other side, making sure that they will just punish the players of Hero Extreme Godlike. Admino leading the pack. Got 1 frag, that's it. Godzi this time got the major, but still. It is going to be a waiting game. A grenade has been lobbed by Admino. Too far away, too short.
Here's the thing. Sinway is still alive, but they might not be able to survive the upcoming wave. But Vishu is able to find a crucial knock. He also gets the confirmation. Sinway still somehow cooking in the game. But Sinway does not have any vehicles to play with. They need to make that rotation inside of the zone. And if they do not have any vehicles, how are they going to make it?
Looking too difficult. And if they tend to hug the circle, if they, just thought that they can hug the edge of the safe zone, you might get spotted out by the players of OnePlus K9 Esports. Yeah. There's no compound, though. You got the lower hedge. You can hide, but can't escape because Beast, yeah, he knows. You got the vehicle, by the way. But one of them is almost burst out. And oh, Beast! He just spotted out an elbow!
Oh, no. Sinway. They're actually going to make the fight up close and personal against K9. This is interesting. Guts of steel. In my opinion, Sinway should have gotten inside of the vehicle and make that mad dash towards the zone. There is a compound free as of now. You can move towards that territory. It's not a good position, but at least you can survive and maybe claim a few more placement points. But Sinway, they're already getting ripped. Oh no. Another man down. Wish you. He's knocked out. Mokshi needs to get that revival, and K9 Esports, they're starting to group up. The moment they get on top of this rock, it's over. Sinway, they're trying to go for that revival. Vishu's back up on his feet. Now we finally do see a lot of moves. But Vishu, there's Molotov right next to him. The man needs to patch himself up first. He is trying to pop that first aid, but does he have enough time? That's my question.
He does.
Vishu does get that first aid popped up, but the nade! It's perfect! K9 Esports, it's hard to shut down a team like this. Eliminating that man completely from the game. That's the thing you like to see from a banner like K9.
12 frags already, and now they're looking more solid into the top 5 and looking for their another fight. By the way, good spread by the players of Hero Extreme Godlike. Look at Punk so far away from the back. And the reason is simple. He needs to control of those compounds. But TWOB, they are the center of attraction. Got the best compound in the safe zone. Got the height advantage. And now Genesis, they are looking to challenge that compound too. By the way, Hero Extreme Godlike, they also some good area too.
TWOB literally reminds me of Meta Ninja in the officials.
Oh.
This is how Meta Ninja used to play.
Yeah, I know.
Off the rip, head towards the center, and just keep themselves pinned down in that spot. And luckily enough, the zone was constantly shifting on top of them as well. They were like the zone magnets, and that's what's happening with TWOB as well. Straight up zone magnets. Finding themselves in quite a good spot. There is K9 Esports next to him. VXT as well on that southern side. But Genesis Esports now, they're probably starting to get pretty unsettled. And I'm pretty sure Genesis Esports for them, the next one on the hit list is going to be TWOB. But what a knock that was from Pukar. Finds an instant knock towards one of the players from Genesis, and that's going to halt the push.
For now, that will halt the push, but you have to be careful of the other fights too. Because in the same vicinity, K9 is there. Pukar, one good grenade, just hold it a little bit. The players haven't started moving yet. 1 minute still on the clock, and then the next stage will be there. Meanwhile, Hero Extreme Godlike, they got a good compound, they got the good control of the circle, they got the northern side completely cleared for you. So you could be the one who can get the chicken dinner. This could be Hero Extreme Godlike's game. But if they play their cards perfectly. Otherwise, K9 might steal it.
There's a lot of teams down in the dirt, stuck. And you never know who's going to be the one to come out on top. But VXT, Shadow is down. And the man's out of the game as well. Genesis Esports, with how they're playing and just constantly roaming around. VXT starting to crumble. Genesis is claiming a lot of those elimination points. It seems like now they're the cleanup crew, but TWOB as well now will start to step inside of the heat as they do want to claim a few elimination points to themselves.
They're enjoying it. They're loving it. And they know this is going to be TWOB's game. Hunters going all in. Yash from the back end supporting his teammate. And now eliminating one more player. It all comes down to Beast so close to Zap. Zap completely unaware about his surroundings. Punk with the Molotov. Hunters getting pinned down. A grenade has been lobbed. Zap is still safe. Beast, he now has to fall back. Johnny with the spray. About to turn out Zap, and that's the end for OnePlus K9. Once again, I told you, this could be Hero Extreme Godlight's game, but the biggest problem is going to be Team Genesis.
Of course, they will be a problem. But TWOB, it's their game to lose. All they need to do is just keep themselves pinned down in that compound and make sure they're not losing any sort of men in the fight. But Hero Extreme Godlike, whoever pushes against them, they're making sure their days will be counted. Gods falls down. Jonathan was chipped down pretty low. Hero Extreme Godlike, they've got a lot of elimination points. Even they've qualified, let's be honest. The first two games, Hero Extreme Godlike, they've been bang on point. Elimination points, be it the placement points, Hero Extreme Godlike, they've been acing at everything.
Yeah. But for now, they know that for this chicken dinner, you have to be a little bit more confident in those fights. Yash, he's still surviving. One grenade can easily spoil your party. Godzi back on his feet. Yash, weird about his surroundings. Jonathan looking for that fight. Meanwhile, TWB still enjoying their compound. Johnny spots out Yash. He can easily drop down and collect that frag. Scarrel in his hands and still waiting for the first move by Yash. Drop down, and that's the end. The DBS works, and it all comes down to this final fight favoring the players of Hero Extreme Godlike. Edmino with the grenade. That's the opening. Wishu knocked out.
Solid stuff. TWOB. How did this happen? It was their game to lose. They've got the compound, the only compound that's available. And now somehow Hero Extreme Godlike, they're punishing the players of TWOB to stay alive for this long. How did this just happen?
Whoa!
Hero Extreme Godlike just casually pushing up and eliminating the entirety of Hero Extreme. How did this just happen? How did they eliminate TWOB within seconds? You blink it and you miss it. Just casually moved on. Eliminated the entirety of TWOB.
That's the way Hero Extreme Godlike loves to play. And I told you so. I told you so. This is going to be Godlike's game. Because Spunk with his rotation, pinpoint perfect. And from the start, from the get-go, they were looking solid. Jonathan with the smile and Mino with the perfect approach, and Punk with the beautiful rotation with the support of Godzi, collecting good amount of frags.
Solid.
They managed to get the chicken.
Incredibly solid. Hero Extreme Godlike. They played like they were extreme. They played like absolute heroes. This game was supposed to be TWOB's, but it seemed like Hero Extreme Godlike was punishing them for staying alive for such a long time. And just look at this final push. Just casually pushing up, eliminating the players entirely. TWOB was definitely a massive mess. But for now, let's move on to the stage for a quick little interview.
भाई ये तो होना ही था. Somewhere a team जिसके बारे में उतनी बात नहीं हुई in the past couple of days, उनका अब जिक्र करना ही होगा, and that is Godlike. I've got Jonathan. Hi.
How are you?
चेहरे की खुशी तो देखो. Finally they pick up a chicken dinner. Listen buddy, हमने इस पूरे टूर्नामेंट में ऐसे बहुत बार कॉन्वर्सेशन की है कि चिकन जो है वो आते आते थ्रो हो गया है. आपके फैंस जो हैं वो तो और भी कटाक्ष बातें करते हैं, बट इन अ टूर्नामेंट नाउ वेयर यू आर प्रीटी मच इन द सेमीफाइनल्स, यार ऐसे शॉर्ट टूर्नामेंट में वेयर एनीथिंग कैन चेंज, कितना इंपॉर्टेंट था ये?
सो लाइक ये भी हम सोच रहे थे कि यार ये चिकन थ्रो कर दे, बट हम सोचे यार तुम्हारे लिए सोच रहा था. मैं बोला कि यार गाइस चिकन लेना ही होगा कैसे भी करके. सो ये तुम लोग के लिए था गाइस, जो लोग बोलते हैं चिकन थ्रो होता है. फाइनली चिकन है. एंड भाई जैसा आपने बोला कि इट्स अ शॉर्ट टर्म, सो एनीथिंग कैन हैपन इन 8 मैचेस. सो होपफुली वी लाइक यू नो वी टुक द चिकन डिनर एंड वी सिक्योर्ड अ स्पॉट.
You had the second best finishes in this match. लेकिन you know जितनी बार हमारी बात हुई है, कभी पंक, कभी एडमिनो, कभी तुम, लेकिन गॉडजी, he is also the MVP of this match. ऐसे मौके पे आके step up करना, what does it tell you about him?
So I guess it's his first line, I guess so. So and he's doing pretty well. So I hope कि आगे वाले matches में also he keeps doing the same and like you know gives his best.
Johnny, you climbed to the second spot now on the leaderboard. I mean, final की एक टिकट तो हो चुकी है confirm. ये सवाल मैं बार-बार पूछ रहा हूँ because you know everyone is just waiting के will this trophy go to godlike?
Like main our goal is like for the finals. चाहिए semis तो ठीक है, we are just like preparing ourselves for the upcoming matches. So this was just a small like sneak and आपको main picture आपको finals में देखेगा.
खुशी होती है जब आपका पड़ोसी जीतता है. He's my neighbor after all. We are same locality. All right, Johnny and Godlike, congratulations. दूसरा match done. 2 matches to go. कुछ लोगों की नाव उसमें छेद है. Will they be able to plug it? We'll find out on the other side.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded, and a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse-to-die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Okay, so let's say you find this little number in a loot box. Before you slay the competition, slay the fit. Here, get ready with me. Press the power button on your Android to activate Gemini and ask for styling tips. How do I style this jacket for a casual look?
For a casual look, pair this jacket with jeans and a white, black or grey t-shirt. Complete the outfit with either boots for a rugged wide or clean sneakers for a modern relaxed feel.
Boom! Conquer coded outerwear. May you slay in style.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
बिगिनिंग हमेशा नहीं था स्टार यूसी लेने से पहले सोचता था 100 बार डर था बड़ा स्कैम्स का डाउट्स थे हजार तो प्ले ओपी आया तो लगाई नया पर तो मैंने लिया यूसी सेव गेम किया रेस प्ले मेरे साथ यहाँ ड्रॉप्स एकदम हार्ड प्ले तेरे साथ ओपी तू भी कर ले स्टार्ट
Welcome back after that short break. And yeah, Hero Extreme Godlike somehow breaking the limits and breaking the entirety of TWOB in the last moment as well. We all thought it's TWOB's game to lose. It's pretty much their chicken dinner, but TWOB messed up big time. Even though having the zone constantly on top of you, having the compound as well, the best possible spot to play with, you still mess up that chicken dinner.
And they weren't able to just capitalize on a lot of those frags. They were just staying silent. And that was the factor, right? You pointed that out, in the 5th zone itself only that, okay, TWOB got the zone, but you have to take those fights. If you want to climb up the ladder, the placement point, yes, they are good, but not that perfect. You need to make sure that you at least collect minimum, 8 to 9 points from that particular map to at least solidify your position for this particular game.
But here's the thing, right? If TWOB keeps on playing the same way, they will easily qualify to the grand finals.
Yeah.
But you ask me a question, can they be the champions? No.
No.
My is the answer. And generally speaking, with how things are looking like for TWOB, they, as you mentioned, right, clearly pointed out, they need to amp up that aggression. And if they do not do so, well, this is what's going to happen over and over again. You will mess up those chicken dinners over and over again. The MVP of that game, it's going to be Godsey with 7 finishes and 44% finish contribution. Solid stuff from Godsey.
Stole the show, by the way, Godsey. In the early stage itself, we managed to get 4 total points. And let's talk about the lineup. Stars of the match of this particular map. Miramar, Godsey, and the best companion goes to Hero Extreme Godlike Jonathan and Admino with the final frag.
I mean, at this point in time for Hero Extreme Godlike, everyone seems like in red hot form.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Stages by stages, it feels like Godlike's form as well changes, right? In league stage, Godlike's form, of course, at the start of the week, it was great, but then later on we saw them fade away slowly and steadily.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they're not there in the grand finals. Now you move on towards this stage. Yeah, Hero Extreme Godlike is doing extremely good. It's not even a question, but I just hope in the grand finals they play the same way. They've got the wind of the sails. They've got the momentum to play with. They've got no excuse now to be out there. They need to perform no matter what in the grand finals.
Would love to see that. How will they be able to just continue this particular momentum? Because once again, you have to be pretty solid. But hey, Mafia, this particular move was actually pretty good. He managed to make sure that Victorious Smith was survived for a bit long, but hey, that didn't last it long. And we can clearly see how Hunter spanned out his opponent in the OnePlus Never Settle movements. But OnePlus K9, the elimination of that one squad necro surprised us all.
Of course it did. K9 Esports in general, they were just absolute bounty hunters, right? Shutting down those teams that were quite desperate for the points. OnePlus K9 Esports, they also shut down a team off the rip, which was Global Esports. And we all know what's going on with Global Esports. Constantly at the bottom 4. Who would have thought Manya and the boys, who were such in a good form in the league stage, the moment they move towards the semifinals, this is what will happen to them. And now in the upcoming 2 games, they need an average of 20 points per game, which is absolutely insane. I'm not sure if they can make it, but Hero Extreme Godlike has definitely made it with 32 points. That's a solid performance. 22 finish points in total.
The reason why they got this amount of points, first of all, they hunted down the players of Phoenix Esports, as well as they dealt with the players of Los Hermanos. Those early power play fights helped them to rack up this total amount of total points, and that was clearly visible. K9 not that far behind, eventually 12 points difference between them. And after, look at that. The top 3 teams, they got the double digits, 32, a 12 points drop, 20, then an 8 point drop, and every single team managed to get only single digits in terms of frags. Global Esports 0, LHS 0, AX, Phoenix, 8-bit, all these teams end up without even securing a single point. That is heartbreaking and bad.
But at least the good thing is now we're not going to see any fluctuations in the bottom 4, right? Before this game, whoever was in the bottom 4 will still be in the bottom 4.
Yeah.
And for Global Esports, OG, Victor Sumis, the bell's already ringing. If you're not performing right now, we all know you will be eliminated. And let's speak a little bit more about OG, man. I constantly am speaking about them, and we know BGMS has always been their arch nemesis. Losing out on the championship with just 1 point, losing out on a lot of money with just 1 point. Now they will not be even close if they get eliminated right here.
Oh, that's a reality check they needed. I think so they need to hear this too. But Hero Extreme Godlike getting that second position for them, toppling down the players of True Rippers. Phoenix Esports still on that 6th spot. Alright, looking good. Los Hermanos, that's not going to be big of a deal for you. Genesis Esports climbing up the ladder on the 7th position. Middle Esports dropping down on the 8th, looking solid. But hey, TWOP, what a massive jump. Team Aryan, oh my god, you are in a world of trouble.
Yep, Team Aryan now in the bottom 4. You've also got 8-bit, OG, and Global Esports. Even in my worst nightmares, I would have never thought OG will be in the bottom 2 of the overall standings. And you talk about 8-bit. This team, you think of they've got the trophy of that tournament. But BGMS is the only trophy their cabinet lacks. And generally speaking, if they keep on playing this way, it will keep on lacking for at least the upcoming year.
Yeah, that is certainly true. You need to change a lot. And Aru is having a conversation with his own teammates because they have to, just get some more points because you need to work as soon as possible because now you only got 2 matches.
So let's agree on one thing, right? At least the safety cushion should be around 45 points to 50 points, right?
Yep.
That should be pretty much the safety cushion. The moment you cross that 50 points marker, you're extremely safe. You all have found yourself in that comfort zone. And for OG to get those 15 points, or to OG to get those 50 points, they need 15 points per game. which is an average I highly doubt OG can achieve per game.
If you... Okay, I have a different opinion. Yes, I agree with your fact that, alright, the way they are playing, the doubt is completely valid. The points you have made was completely valid. But I still think in this particular game, OG will bounce back.
Okay.
And they will make this competition more spicy.
Interesting. But then what about Global Esports? They need 20 points per game.
They already got 2 trophies. Come on. Let other teams win. Come on, Manya.
Hey, the more the better,
chance.
though, right? The more the better. And Manya and the boys, they're on the redemption arc right now. Spray God, he was eliminated or kicked out of the previous roster. So even the man's on a massive redemption arc. Before now, let's move on to short break before we head on towards Sandhawk.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Okay, so let's say you find this little number in a loot box. Before you slay the competition, slay the fit. Here, get ready with me. Press the power button on your Android to activate Gemini and ask for styling tips. How do I style this jacket for a casual look?
For a casual look, pair this jacket with jeans and a white, black or grey t-shirt. Complete the outfit with either boots for a rugged vibe or clean sneakers for a modern, relaxed feel.
Boom! Conquer coded outerwear. May you slay in style.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
With only 2 last games remaining to qualify for the grand finals and few big names are still at the struggling side. I'm talking about the players of Team Orangutan, 8-Bit, some other names as well, all the way towards the bottom 4. And the map of Sandhawk is going to be really important and crucial for all the bottom teams. Hero Extreme, Godlike, Nebula, they have pretty much secured their spot for the grand finals. But OG, Global Esports, 8-Bit, such big names, Team Aryan, a team which comes with so much experience, is on the struggling side scared.
These are some big names that we never anticipated to see all the way down there at the bottom of the page. And that's one of the biggest things that I've always been mentioning, right? The teams who've had that consistency throughout the league week, those were the teams that were supposed to be up on top. But we're seeing teams like even Phoenix Esports, TWOB make that big bounce, that big leap. And they did that all the way back in day one itself. TWOB not so much, but Phoenix did. And I think so even if they drop the ball in the next 2 games, they've already qualified. They've cleared that cutoff.
Phoenix Esports is one of those teams which was on the struggling side, if you remember, towards the league stage. But OG, such a big name coming in and still struggling on the second day of the semi-finals. They started the day on a very good note. The 2025 was looking like a year for the players of Orangutan, but for the audience, we also have got something. I'm talking about the Nixon Sinister set. You guys can get it just for 10 UC. Go and try your luck, just like the players of OG are trying to try their luck and qualify for the grand finals.
And the fact is, if you really want to see their run for this qualification, you definitely have a time and a big chance to watch that on Jio Hotstar with the multi-cam feature. You'll be able to have their own specific match updates as well, and you can clearly see the rotations that they are making, the fights that they'd be taking, and some of the mistakes that they've been making. Now with all that, they definitely try and make their dream to hop back up. As we'll be moving on to the map of Sandhawk, ladies and gentlemen. The second last match that's going to be happening here right now. The plane is going to hit all the way up in the skies, moving directly from Mong Nai and Khao all the way towards the end out here. We'll be focusing down on the teams that be taking that drop early on, but there's quite a few things that a lot of people would have wanted to say, and that's something I want to hear specifically from TWOB Shadow, because they definitely did make their mark in the previous one.
Well, they certainly did. And since the flight path is on our screens right now, is going all the way from the side of Mungai towards the side of Camp Alpha, it's a completely northern flight path.
Big surprise.
Big surprise, but the biggest surprise is going to be the circle. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, Southern Circle. Don't worry about it.
I don't know, man.
Southern Circle.
Sandhawk is so important for so many big names. So many teams are still on the struggling side. And
Southern Circle and a Swiggy 99 burger.
I'll take the deal.
Deal.
But I'm not going to give you anything if it's not a Southern Circle.
Wow.
One of the players of Global Esports are trying to take one of the players down. In the...
Yeah, they
He
just
was
tried.
being the optimistic one.
It's fine. Happens. Sometimes you just want to try your luck out. Maybe if nothing helps, that could eventually help you out. Because anything else for OG is not really working out, Shadow. Everything else, if you could say that they've been trying, has not been working out for them till now. And it's not actually a Southern Circle. It's a very centric one. Northern one, if you'd really talk about it. You've got Camp Alpha Island as well, into the contention, Ruins Island as well, and the main island, which we normally talk about. So this circle could actually move anywhere. You can't really predict as to where you would need to cut your rotation towards.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent circle, to be very honest, favoring the players of K9, who were actually going for the hunt in the previous map of Miramar. K9 was actually looking into form, the way they were hunting down so many teams.
Yeah.
And this time, once again, they can actually go and try a fight against the players of VXT, because VXT is also having that split drop around the Camp Alpha city. But for now, we have got the players of VXT. Ronnie taking down not just one, but two players from the side of K9 Esports.
That's going to be big right now, because VXT need these points as well. At the 48-point mark out here, they are hunting down the members of K9. The temple is not really just the temple right now. It's becoming the burial ground for the teams. K9 now just left with two players. Will have to move back eventually. So VXT, they're going to be pretty happy about it. Couple of early points as well, that too in the power play. And they have already made that qualification, Shadow. Let's be honest, they're at the third spot right now. This is nothing like what happened in the playoffs, where they were eventually praying to the gods of Phoenix to help them out with the qualification.
I think Phoenix Esports Metal, they are on a very safe spot. They can try to do anything, whatever they want to do. But Global Esports, they are under tremendous pressure. And finally, a fight brewing up between TWOB and Global Esports, where Mania trying to take down Pukar. Finally, do manage to secure that point onto him as well. But the S12K goes for the reload. And finally, it is Mania getting a counter knock, but his teammate Troy was there. Mania getting 3 out of 4 finishes in the power play itself. This is what we want to see from the side of Global Esports.
It was absolutely big one right now, but their troubles have not really ended right now, because there's also God like hopping in as well, and instantly Adi has been taken down. Mania, he's not gonna get time to patch himself up, or rather he's gonna be sent back into hell, as Global Esports did want to fight, but the victory was short-lived.
They are on the 13th spot right now, depending upon how the bottom teams perform in the map of Sandhawk. Exactly. Team Aryan, Team 8-Bit, Team Orangutan, they are still alive. And this was a really important game for the players of Global Esports. They did manage to get the 5 finishes, and that too in the power play. That means 10 points. But are these 10 points enough to be in the top 12? One last game remains for the players of Global Esports. And let me remind you, Mane was the guy who was able to lift the trophy twice on the same stage of Master Series, but OG is also on the struggling side, and Atanki fights a perfect knock in connection towards the side of MyG as Kalan has been eliminated, and Vizgod also stepping up majorly. 4 finishes in the power play. That means 8 points accumulated. This is what the players of OG, 8-bit, Team Aryan needs to do. Take advantage of the power play.
Here's the big thing, Shadow, which I really want to mention. It's the teams who are up on top of the leaderboard, nowhere around 10th, 11th and 12th spot. All of these teams are still alive if you really talk about it, right? OG, they've pushed themselves up. Yes, that's absolutely fine. But Victor Sumus is still alive. Sinway still alive. Nebula still alive. And as long as these teams are alive in the lobby, there is a chance that they will propel themselves even further up. Now, if that happens, that means the lead is going to increase even further between teams like Aryan and 8-bit. So they have to find these teams to shut them down. Otherwise, there would be no point in them gaining those points.
No, I don't really 100% agree with you, because here's the thing. Nebula, Sinway, they are going for the passive approach in this one. And if OG or VS gets so many finish points and also good position points, there is a very high chance that they can be in the top 12, because Nebula and Sinway, I don't see any reason for these two teams to go for the aggressive approach unless and until they are actually reading the finish feed.
I think so they should eventually utilize that power play, or at
They
least that
should,
firepower.
but they are not. That's the main problem.
Yeah, and
if they do, then for sure they can solidify their spot in the top 12.
Sinway losing the fight against the members of 8-bit right now. This is the big thing. This is the point I was talking about. 8-bit now finding the team that is on the 11th spot, taking the fight against them. That is going to help them out in moving up in the ranking. Vishu already falling down. And Shadow, we have talked about this fact. You have mentioned this fact multiple times on the desk. The map of Sandhawk is a very important and strong map of Sinway. And if they falter here right now, I think so they will choke in the last one.
I told you before the start of the game that I have a very strong feeling that Sinway might not be able to deliver their best performance in this Sandhawk.
Probably.
And the reason for that was because everyone knows how strong Sinway is in this one particular map. And if you deny the strongest team points, that also opens up the window for you to go for those extra points. And for now, the team which really needs a point is 8-bit. But Raiden, he was trying to get something towards the side of Sinway Esports, but eventually he's the one to be knocked out.
Raiden has been the man who's had massive firepower for his team right now. When Espower is not stepping up, and Aquanox was not stepping up, and Beast was not stepping up, it was Raiden who was constantly going for those multi-frag games, for those 3 points, 4 finishes, 5 finishes, sometimes even 7 finish games. And that is something that is very important right now, and that's happening. It's Beast to step things up. 2 finishes already claimed against Sinway right now. 10 more seconds remaining until the power play is over. So they will still try to maybe catch at least 1 or 2 people. You've got one jumping around. The shotgun shot of his power. Not really that good. It's still fine. He's still alive. But now they've isolated the players. And this is the best opportunity of 8-bit to maybe take this life. And it's still going on.
S-Power finally is there. Raiden gets knocked out once again. 2 players down from the side of Team 8-bit. And now it's an equal fight for the players of Sinway Esports. On the other side, Middle and OG are also locking horns with each other. But finally, S-Power decides to go up against the last player, Ninja of Sinway Esports. Actually, 2 players remain. Sinway, they still have 2 players remaining. This fight can go either ways, as S-Power has also been knocked out by Ninja. So that means Beast is the only last hope remains from 8-bit.
Heavy disconnect coming in from the members of 8-bit, and that is a massive problem. Because it's not just Sinway surviving, it is also 8-bit faltering on the 13th spot, and now Nebula is here for the third party. You already have some big names standing up in front of you. How are you going to survive? That's the big question now. And can Sinway deliver something more? Can they survive for longer? Because the big point is, those 2 finishes which they grabbed, they were not in the power play.
One of the major reasons I disagreed with your point during that time was also because, now look at that. If 8-bit had gone up against the players of Hero Extreme Godlike or VXT or Kaun and anyone else looking comfortable in the overall ranking, the points would have gone towards those top teams. And now, 8-bit, since the fight didn't go in their favor, the points goes to the team, which is still in the contestation.
That is a very good point.
If we are going up against the teams who are sitting on the 10th, 11th or 12th spot, you are not only giving away your points to them, but you are also solidifying their qualification. It comes with a risk. So if you have to go for a fight in the power play itself, go against the top teams.
That could very well be one way of looking at the things as well, and I'm absolutely fine with that right now. But AKOP has got to be fine with pulling a miraculous clutch to save his team. He's already caught one person out there with the knock, though, but the healings come in through perfectly. Middle, they've still got 3 more players standing. 2 of them up in front of AKOP as they try and bounce onto him from 2 directions. And that's going to be it. The Apes will fall down on the 12th spot with 28 points locked in for themselves. An early fight being won, yes, but the only fight being won. That's not enough.
8-bit OG once again, even Global Esports facing an early exit. And if you look at the position where Sinway Esports and Team Orion are, Sinway, they already have 3 finishes in the power play itself, which is a good start. Rex Boy, the MVP player of Sinway, is still alive, but the minute I said that, Nebula Adi,
oh my goodness,
comes in and eliminates Sinway Esports. But I think Sinway, they have done their job. They've got enough points in their hands to be in the top 12, considering consistent performance comes in the last Erangel as well.
That's the big point which you mentioned, that consistent performance is the main key. Now the pressure is back onto Sinway. And this is exactly what Moksha was also discussing yesterday, that we wanted to work hard for day 1 itself so that we don't have a lot of pressure for day 2. But the thing is, he's still back in the same boat, in the exact same scenario. That now they have to work hard for the last game in order to make sure that they qualify.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the big problem right now, because we have the access to the leaderboard. We know how many points they need. The players do not.
They have a vague idea, by the way.
They'll have a vague idea. That's the whole thing. So they'll have to focus down or double down onto their own performance. Now that also adds in some extra pressure, right? Because that brings you onto that one crossroad where one road leads to an aggressive gameplay where you want to take some early fights in the power play and want to play aggressive. And the other one leads to a very passive gameplay. And being in that kind of predicament in a scenario where the last game requires the best performance of your team, that is a very difficult hurdle for an IGL to cross.
True Rippers, Harsh on our screens. Keeping a close eye onto the players of Hero Extreme Vortex and QLMO. Finally, the spray is there, but the connection is completely missing from the side of QLMO. And now the position has already been compromised for the players of True Rippers. The surprise factor has been taken out of the equation. And Kyo, this guy has taken a lot of damage. He needs to be very careful. He needs to patch himself up, but the fight is also up against the blue. The blue is also giving chip damage. The grenades are there. And Kyo once again down to very low HP. But Hush comes with the backline support as he finds a knock onto Punk.
Yeah, but that's only Punk right now. Jonathan and Admino both are going to push against Kyo Lamau right now, but Kyo will still stand up big time. Is able to take one down, move on the other side. The blue is going to deal the damage as the Molly is being sent out. Maybe a bit too wide. And Kyo still holds strong. He will fall down, but to the blue zone. The confirmation is going to flow and the damage has been done on the members of Godlike, as it's only Admino who remains.
Yeah. The last player standing, but I think Hero Extreme Godlike, they have crossed the mark of 70.
They're happy.
They're happy. They can do whatever they want to do.
Anyone in the top 8 is happy. They've done their job.
Let's focus on Team Aryan and VS for now, Scared. Because if you notice, Team Aryan, they are almost towards the center-ish position of the circle. Even though they're going for the passive approach in this one, but if they do get a winner-winner chicken dinner, that can actually catapult themselves in a very safe spot.
20 points. Bare minimum is what you need to get. 40 points is where I think so the safe spot is. The cutoff can jump up till 30, 35.
Maximum 35, but as I speak of Team Aryan, BXT was so close to them. Seems like the fight is growing and it is Team Aryan losing onto the plaza as Aryan has been knocked. Cyrex and Henry, 2 players still standing tall. But Sarang with a grenade, he actually knows where Cyrex could be and this grenade can be deadly. But that connection is missing. Devotee also coming in from the back lines, finds a perfect knock onto Ninja Jot. A great opening, 2 players down from the side of VXT. Sarang is the only one remaining now.
You got to win this one fight though, but the third party now comes into play as well, as out in the open stand Aryan and Medal are the ones who see their back. You do not show your backs to your opponents, and Aryan have done exactly that. And it's all falling down to just Henry. If you stand in the middle, then be ready to take the arrows from multiple directions. You've got to bring out the best sword play ever to cut down all those arrows, but Aryan don't have that. And instead of cutting down the arrows, they have lost their limbs. It's only Henry who remains now. And he needs to cook something up. He needs to cook something big to save his team.
The circle also takes a bit of the northern shift, favoring the players of Team K9.
Again.
They are comfortable in the overall ranking.
This is the main momentum boost which we were talking about as well, Shadow, because this is the form, or rather at least in the first two games, was the form of K9 which we were really talking about.
Yeah, but this is when they have already qualified. Tomorrow, in the grand finals, day 1, the leaderboard will reset.
Yes, but
And
they will
K9
have the momentum.
I'm not really sure about that because OG, so many other names also had the momentum, and semi-finals day 1 was not exactly the best day for them.
If you're really looking at the graph of OG, right, there's one big point which I wanted to mention, and that was again their performance was on a constant decline after week 1. Standing at the first spot, then in the second week, they wanted that first spot again, but they were bouncing between second and third. And then overall, in the third week, they were bouncing between third and fifth, eventually ending up at the 7th spot. That's almost out of top 8. So then, overall in the last week, I'd have to say they never had the momentum apart from just one game per day. And that's where the problems began right now. But I really love the fact that VXT were able to bring the momentum back for themselves after a nail-biting finish in the playoffs where they had to rely on to the members of Phoenix for their qualification right now, as Sarang wanted to stand up for long, but again, not really having a lot of players out there wasn't really the best way for him to kick things off though, but maybe Ronnie can do the job which was started by him, and he absolutely will devour every single member of Nebula as VXT will put an end to their run and will get the confirmation. Now it's Victor Sermis again being pounced upon by the members of Middle.
The circle takes a bit of the eastern shift and is still favoring Edmino from the side of Hero Extreme Godlike, but this is Metal going up against the plus of VS and aimbot. Once again, this guy is stepping up majorly. This Senok is the map for the plus of Metal Esports as well. Metal shines the most in Senok. 13 finishes, they were raining death and destruction, and a quick work out of the entire squad of VS. This was actually a really important game for the players of VS.
Absolutely, and they eventually lost out on the 5th spot. Not a lot of possession points being gained out there, but they've got the average points. The question is, are average points enough? Are you in that safe spot? Because Nebula didn't really have a great game either. They didn't have a lot of finishes. They're going to have a couple of possession points, yes, but that's the only thing they'd be able to grab.
Nebula are in the safe spot.
I don't think so.
They are. They most certainly are.
It's going to depend on the last game for me.
Yes, it will depend on the performance of the other teams as well. But for now, Nebula are looking on the pretty decent spot. And so are the plus of VXT. If you notice all the top 4 teams, they are somewhere in the top 4 in the overall ranking as well. Medal, a complete domination coming in from their side. But this was an important game for the players of Orangutan for Global Esports. In Global Esports, after having such a good start in the power play where they did manage to get 4 finish points, a complete squad wipe, there was not enough time to go for the reset when the third party came in, and eventually Global Esports got eliminated. This is definitely going to affect the confidence of the players, that if we go for the aggressive approach in the power play itself, that is also not working for us. But if we go for the passive approach, maybe we'll not have enough points in our hands. So this is basically a double-edged sword for all the IGLs.
At this point, you just have to go aggressive. You've been trying the passive playstyle for such a long time. You had to utilize the power play early on as well. But none of that is happening. This chicken dinner surely seems to be like for Middle Esports, unless Admino is going to do something that we can't really think of. He's able to take aimbot down. But there's still a couple of more players of Middle who are standing up in front of him. Tries to find something with the nade though. Doesn't really get anything. I'm waiting for the rest of the members of Middle to hop in and maybe save the life of aimbot right now, because they would really want to keep their numbers advantage, because there's Omega and Beast of K9 who still remain.
8 finishes towards the side of Hero Extreme Godlike. Like you mentioned, Edmino is the only man standing. And for now, he's so very close to the plus of Metal Esports at this point. And Shadow is also there of VXT to do a third party as Venom has been eliminated. So that's a blessing in disguise for Edmino. Nades being exchanged, utils being exchanged. But Edmino is still standing strong.
That's going to be the time for him to maybe hold his own ground down. Will eventually be taken down as K9 picks up this exact timing to try and catch the members of Middle as they are being caught in that one compound. VXT Shadow will also show his own face as well as he tries to slam in the exact same space. He wants to hold his own ground down as well. This could be a very big blessing for the members of K9, who only had one finish till now as they've been just dropped down to a 2v3. Shadow gets picked off. VXT are going to be happy. They're at the third spot. Their qualification was already confirmed in the top 12. They're just going to make sure that they have the momentum for the next few games and for the grand finals. It's the time for all of these teams to celebrate. But which one is going to celebrate harder? Is the big question. I love the positioning of K9 right now. They basically spread themselves out around this small hill, which is going to give them a very slight advantage, but at the same time, a slight amount of cover as well from the fires that might come in from middle. And both of them have spread out. The only big problem is now the circle has moved away from Omega, so he will be forced to make a move from that place. And that could be a timing which middle can catch to maybe pick him off.
If you notice, this fight is just basically for a few extra points because both these teams anyhow are making it into the grand finals. K9, yes, I do agree they were on the struggling side towards the last week, not just the last week, the entire 3 weeks of the league plays. But since semi-finals, I think K9 Esports in the 2 days of semi-finals, they are looking very strong. Metal has always been very strong, especially aimbot. This guy was able to do a 1v6 yesterday on the map of Miramar. And aimbot is one of that guy the team entirely relies upon for that opening frag, the opening connection onto the opponent team. And that is what makes Metal so strong, because if aimbot falters down, there is always someone to step up. Either it is Termi or Venom or Alto. And yes, the circle has shifted away from the plus of K9 Esports and Metal Esports, but I don't think any of them is going to prioritize the rotation at this point because they are so eager to pick this fight as Beast has been chipped pretty low, but the grenade lands perfectly towards the side of Alto.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one coming in from aimbot as well as he will eventually get the confirmation. It's Metal Esports to pick up the winner chicken dinner for themselves in the second last game of the semi-finals. It was just for the momentum. They have definitely got that. The circle shifting away from the members of Middle as thought is going to give a slight advantage to the members of K9 as they were a bit more close. But again, it was the early positioning which they eventually took right across that hill, which became their nemesis, because then they had to move out in the open, giving up their own covers and space. And Middle, they were not looking to give them any kind of chance like that. They just went in, as you said, taking that fight away. Not a single care about the circle. Just wanting to take down those players. VXT, Shadow was the last man standing, and we clearly saw how he eventually found that one man. Was able to take them down. Big performances coming in for some big names, but some massive disappointments as well in the names of OG, in the names of 8-Bit, in the name of Global Esports. These are the teams who needed some big games, but none of that happened out here, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, all things fall down to one last game of Erangel, and we will prepare that after this short break.
Okay, so let's say you find this little number in a loot box. Before you slay the competition, slay the fit. Here, get ready with me. Press the power button on your Android to activate Gemini and ask for styling tips. How do I style this jacket for a casual look?
For a casual look, pair this jacket with jeans and a white, black or grey t-shirt. Complete the outfit with either boots for a rugged vibe or clean sneakers for a modern, relaxed feel.
Boom! Conquer coded outerwear. May you slay in style.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
Welcome back, everyone. With only last game remaining, Erangel pressure is mounting onto the shoulders of all the bottom teams. Such big names. Global Esports, OG, 8-bit. This was not really a good game for them.
I mean, a lot of struggles out here, but there's one thing that can actually ease your struggles, ladies and gentlemen, and that's going to be the latest device of OnePlus 13R. One of the flagship device coming in with a massive battery backup as well and a very fast charging. You can instantly charge your phone so that you can have a long-lasting hour of gameplay as well, along with some massive FPS. We always talked about that. Flagship phone, again, pretty amazing out here right now, just like the gameplay of Middle in the previous game.
Yes. But Metal, they are already on the safe spot. So even if they were not going for that much aggression, they were anyhow making it to the grand finals. This sort of aggression is just going to solidify their confidence for the grand finals and prepare them for the extra pressure which is coming in the next stage. But for Global Esports, for Orangutan, for 8-bit, it was such an important game for them. And Global Esports, yes, it was a good head start, taking that extra 4 finishes in the power play itself. But after the third party which came in, they were not ready. And when you leave things for the 11th hour, you should be prepared for any sort of situation.
Oh, I'll have to say, I'm going to see some teams trying to target them out there. I know we've been discussing about that, but we're not going to reveal everything out. But here's the thing, right? I absolutely agree with the point that you mentioned that it was a very decent start. And the same thing could be said for Orangutan as well. Yes. They had a pretty decent start, but they just could not convert it into a decent run in this game. And since everyone on the bottom side had a decent start, that means the cutoff is still going to remain the same and the competition will still be the same. And here's the big thing, Shadow. The entire number of points that OG and Global Esports were able to get has been covered by Aimbot just in terms of his own gameplay.
Yes. And if you notice, if one team is dominating so much that they are the one getting all the finished points, you're not just accumulating points for yourself, but you're also denying points to the bottom teams.
True.
So that is also one of the factors which everyone needs to focus on, that if one team comes and dominates in the last Erangel, there is no chance for you to go for the extra finish points.
And again, if there are some other teams who are just above you, they eventually perform pretty decently. They get those average points as well. That means that much the gap is eventually increasing. So yes, some big problems happening in. But as we have a look at the OnePlus never settle moments for the previous game, again, you can clearly see the disappointment from Global Esports. And Shadow, this is not really a new roster, I'd have to say. These are some power-packed names. Manya, an IGL who's lifted 2 trophies. Spray God. We've always talked about how this man stands up to his name. Troy, the man who always performed under the leadership of Somraj. These are some big names who've always stood up at the last hour. And they'd have to force themselves out to eventually perform out of their mind right now, just as Middle were eventually able to do as well. As we have a look at the match rankings, ladies and gentlemen, Middle should have around 25-point game for themselves. A lot of finishes coming in for their side. And yep, it's going to be 29. Godlike as well, having a good number of points out there. Global Esports, 10 points for them. OG, 8 points for them. Yes, I absolutely agree. But then there's again Nebula, who've got 6 points. They've got Phoenix as well, getting decent points. Victorious Sermers, though, they were on the struggling end.
Here's the thing, Global Esports is known for their Senok games because they tend to perform really good, at least in terms of the finish points on the map of Senok every single time. And this time also they were relying on the map of Senok for the comeback because the first Erangel and Miramar didn't go in their favor. 10 points, yes, they are good points, but not enough to be in the top 12. 8-bit with just 4 points, VS with just 4 points, even Sinway. I did mention this fact before the match started that Sinway might crumble in this Senok.
And it was this just overextended fight between Sinway and 8-bit which eventually led to like that fight because 8-bit could not really get those final 2 confirmation as well and Sinway stood strong. They got all 3 people of 8-bit and then came the third party. As we have a look at the leaderboard itself, no changes out here. Up in top, 41 points going in for MyG, Los Hermanos and Genesis Esports as well. They've cleared the cutoff. No problems out here. No questions being asked. It's going to be the next page, which is going to be our main point of focus right now because Aryan, 8-bit, Global Esports, OG, they are still in the exact same spot. 28 points, Shadow, an average of 4 points per game.
There is just only 4-point difference between VS, who is sitting on the 12th spot, and Global Esports, who is sitting on the 16th spot. Just 4-point difference. Yes, Sinway, they are with 32 points. The point difference is a bit too much. But this is a really important game for the players of Global Esports. I'm not going to say the 12th spot is not open for them. We can draw the curtains. No, not at all. Global Esports, they are still in the contestation spot.
35. 35 is the main cutoff which we've been constantly discussing.
I'm not sure if it will go towards 35, maybe 30, 35, somewhere in between. Yes.
30 to 35, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Again, because it's literally 4 points per game. 7 4s are 28. So we've literally got 4 points per game right now. That's a pretty solid math that I did there, ladies and gentlemen. It's all thanks to the burgers that I've been getting from Swiggy. You can just get those burgers for ₹99, that too, free delivery. So don't miss out on that chance. You'd eventually get the QR code over towards the end after the 4th game and then you can quickly scan it. You know, we've been discussing about a lot of things, Shadow. There's a lot of things that maybe players want to ask as well. And Surain is there to ask the question. So let's send it to him.
अमूमन यानी यूजुअली ये दोनों अगर मेरे साथ एक इंटरव्यू के लिए आते वो हालात अलग होते. यहाँ हालात बहुत बहुत खराब है. एक तरफ ओजी एके की टीम विच इज ऑन 13th, दूसरी तरफ सोमराज की टीम 8-bit विच इज ऑन 14. हियर इज अ वेरी वेरी स्कैरी फीलिंग. दिस कुड बी द लास्ट टाइम मैं आप लोगों के साथ बातचीत कर रहा हूँ इन दिस टूर्नामेंट. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद यू एके. हाल ही में, मतलब हाल ही में क्या यार, प्रीटी मच द लास्ट टूर्नामेंट आप लोगों ने जीता. Dude, what's happening?
नहीं, मतलब जीतने के बाद ऐसा लगा नहीं था कि ये मैच भी ऐसे टाइम भी देखना पड़ेगा. बट ठीक है, जैसे इसी मशीन होती है जिसमें अप्स आता है, डाउन भी आता है, तो वापस अप भी आएगा, तो टेंशन वाली बात नहीं. अभी एक मैच है.
करेक्ट, दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट कि एक मैच है. सॉम, द वे हमने इतने मैचेस देखे हैं जहां पे आपने पहले भी परफॉर्म किया, आप भी टूर्नामेंट जीत के आए हैं, ऑफिशियल जीत के आए हैं. आई रिमेंबर द इमोशंस ऑन योर फेस. वो इमोशंस और ये इमोशंस विपरीत हैं.
Definitely, but still we have the last match, and as our team code goes by, never lose hope, so we'll fight till the end.
यार आपकी टीम के साथ एक पेडिग्री है, राइट? एंड कुछ टीम्स हैं जो अब आपको टारगेट करने की कोशिश भी करेंगी, बिकॉज लेट्स फेस इट, ओरांगुटान जैसी टीम उसको अगर टेक डाउन करते हैं, एलिमिनेट करते हैं, उसकी एक अलग ही खुशी होगी बहुत सारी टीम्स के लिए. आर यू रेडी फॉर दैट इन दिस फाइनल एरंगल?
प्लान तो वही है, एक ही टीम मानना है, फिर जो हमारे फिनिशेस पॉइंट हो जाएंगे डबल हो जाएंगे और हम क्वालिफाई हो जाएंगे. तो इतना कुछ सोचना नहीं है. हर बार हम रोजॉक में कोई आता तो छोड़ देते हैं, इस बार मोस्ट वेलकम. बट कोई टारगेट मत करना प्लीज.
भाई का गणित स्ट्रांग है. ऑलराइट, वन फाइनल चांस, एक आखिरी मौका. अ चिकन डिनर विल ऑब्वियसली टेक यू टुवर्ड्स अ वेरी सेफ प्लेस, बट डज द टीम हैव इट इन देम? क्योंकि कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत लो है.
डेफिनेटली अभी भी सब लोग ट्राई करेंगे एंड तक. हमारा यही कि हर एक गेम में जो बेस्ट हो सकता है वो करें. अब देखते हैं कि हम लोग चिकन तक जा पाते हैं कि स्टार्टिंग में ही
यही वो आदमी है जिसने चार्ट शीट में बोला था हु करते तो नहीं रह जाओगे ओरंगुटन।
भाई साहब राउंड अप चल रहा है ना दोनों एक के ऊपर एक ही नीचे साथ में है ना, हो जाएंगे दोनों, हो जाएंगे, कोई सीन नहीं है।
देखिए इन दोनों पे ऑब्वियसली सबकी निगाहें होंगी, दे बोथ हैव द एक्सपीरियंस, लेकिन वो एक फिल्मी डायलॉग याद आ रहा है, खुद तो डूबेंगे तुमको भी ले डूबेंगे सनम, कहीं ये वाला हाल ना हो जाए। वी विल हैव टू फाइंड आउट। एक मैच बचा है, वी कमिंग बैक आफ्टर द ब्रेक।
R is for RAM on roids. A 12 gigabyte ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Okay, so let's say you find this little number in a loot box. Before you slay the competition, slay the fit. Here, get ready with me. Press the power button on your Android to activate Gemini and ask for styling tips. How do I style this jacket for a casual look?
For a casual look, pair this jacket with jeans and a white, black or grey t-shirt. Complete the outfit with either boots for a rugged wide or clean sneakers for a modern, relaxed feel.
Boom! Conquer coded outerwear. May you slay in style.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
One last game remaining, and after that we'll get our grand finalist teams and also the 4 teams which will bid us bye-bye at this very day. One last Erangel, one last hope for all the bottom teams. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Battlegrounds Mobile India Masters Series Semi-Finals Day number 2. My name is Shadow, and joining me on the desk for this last one is going to be Scared Yet. What are your predictions? Directly, I'm going to throw you under the bus.
I mean, what, 4 teams that are getting eliminated?
Yes.
That's pretty harsh. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Global Esports, Orangutan, 8-Bit, and Victor Service.
I think one of them can bounce back.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna say Victor Service.
No. I'm not going to reveal the name, but I am very confident that maybe 2 of them can bounce back and be in the top 12.
Then again, give us your predictions.
I was the one to ask you the question, by the way. And by the way, you owe me few burgers. The circle didn't go south.
I
in the
owe you
previous
one burger. What do you mean by few burgers? Oh my goodness, the greed.
Okay, at least one.
Absolutely. One, yes, I do. I agree. 1 burger is what is due for you. 1 chicken dinner is what is due for the teams at the bottom 4 to bounce back in the top 12. Shadow, again, there's been some very big statements out there, even between the talents as well, when we've been discussing that if you can't really make it in the top 12, I think so there were some teams who should have been here from the challenge series.
Going by the record, I think we both are going to be denied what we are asking for.
Probably. But you are not going to be denied of the POV feed coming in for the Apes, K9, a couple of more teams. If you're watching Geo Hotstar, make sure you utilize that multicam feature smiles across the face of the members of Godlike. Good performance coming in for them. A win already in the day and when it mattered the most. So, of course, they're going to be pretty happy. A lot of other teams with their consistent performance have been on point. And this is the time when you have to leave every emotion behind. When you'll have to leave every result behind. Drop all the baggage. Get into the zone. And focus on this one last game of Erangel as the plane hits the skies, ladies and gentlemen. The last dance now begins.
For the last time, these 16 teams are going up against each other, and after that, we'll only see the 12 teams continuing the journey in the grand finals, and the last 4 bottom teams will bid us by. The flight path this time is going to be pretty decent, and as it is going all the way from the side of Ferry Pier towards the side of Siverny, a decent flight path, and the teams currently are asking for a decent circle as well.
I don't know if it's actually going to be decent because on the maps of Erangel, we've seen some eccentric circles. We've seen absolute blasphemy, giving us those kinds of curveballs which we normally would see in baseball games. Circle becomes like the football kick by Roberto Carlos out there. Those curves which we never really anticipate.
Quick prediction, Scared, for the circle.
I already lost the burger once. What do you want?
Just give the prediction.
I don't know. Maybe what? East?
I'm expecting a centrish circle, to be very honest.
We actually saw that yesterday, so I don't know if we're actually going to see that. Holy smokes, it's going to go towards the southwest.
Maybe towards Ghatka, where the players of Sinway Esports are. And looking at the circle, I think the teams which are going to benefit heavily from this are going to be the players of Team VS. And it's an important game for them. For now, we have the players of Genesis going up against the only player of Hero X Team God. Like this was a vehicle contestation and gods. Oh no. This guy had the perfect weaponry in his hands and it did take hefty HP. Wait a second.
What?
When you have a vehicle contestation, a pistol is the best thing you could ask for.
Not this one.
Why not?
Shoots one bullet at a time. And look at the crosshair. That crosshair is bigger than the front part of your buggy, man. I don't know how that's the perfect weapon, but this is definitely a good one out there with the red dot as well. Zap answers back pretty well to the members of Godlike. And this is probably the first time when we're seeing these two teams disengage and not chase one another.
You have never been in a situation where you got nothing at all and you have to try and punch the enemy to knock him down.
Yeah, I'd rather punch and use a machete than use that weapon. Better to carry no weapon at all rather than carrying an unreliable
there are a few good
weapon.
pistols also, by the way.
Huh?
There are few good pistols as well, by
I
the way.
agree, and there was a
Better
time
than
when
Uzi.
one of the player was eventually able to get a 1v4 against a big team out there on this very map. I still remember the part towards Nowhere If Nowhere.
Scorpion, these are few good pistols, by the way.
Yeah, I agree. Because these are those semi-automatic pistols. That's why they're pretty good.
Every weapon is a good weapon. You just need to have the skill to use it. That's for you, not for the players.
I absolutely agree with the statement. Yes. I'm not even countering that.
That was for you.
I'm not even countering that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Every weapon is a good weapon, except the revolver.
It's also a weapon, by the way.
Yeah, but every other weapon is the good weapon, except that. I'm not using that. I'd rather throw a pan at the enemy. Moving out.
That's why you are not a pro player and you are in front of the camera, not on the stage.
What did you do after becoming a pro player? You are in front of the camera sitting right next to me.
It's basically the issue was that we should focus on the game right now.
Oh my god, the convo change is absolutely insane out here right now. But yes, perfect time to mention that because there's a commotion maybe building up around the area of Yasnaya Polyana. Medal Esports against the members of VXT. That's going to be a team which would not have any kind of problem, but the team right next to them is going to be OG, who for some weird reason have decided to move all the way towards north. This is not their rotation path. Normally they go over towards the water city and then continue their rotation.
This is actually a good rotation because if you notice, every single time you will find someone all the way towards the petrol pump of Yasna and in the Yasna city as well. So that rotation would have been a risky one. And OG, I'm sure they are aware about the position of Metal Esports as well. And that's the reason they are opting for a different route inside the circle. But while doing so, there is a high chance of them clashing against the players of K9 Esports. And if that happens, Medal can actually be the one to do a third party.
At this point, I don't even know with whom OG can actually pick the fight because in terms of the mechanical skills, they are getting diffed by everyone.
I really hope no one.
But then they'd not qualify.
They're just few points deficit.
I would not say. You'd have to target at least 15 points right now.
VS is having 28 points and OG is also having 28 points.
Considering RN and Global Esports and even 8-bit start to play well, yeah, I'd rather have them play much better than everyone else to make that qualification instead of risking in and taking or rather focusing on just one team on the other side.
But for now, OG has decided to go up against the players of Metal Esports as Altu finds a knock onto Aru. A counter knock is also there towards Altu. Aru has to be revived. OG, this is a really important game for them. And for now, Vizgod with that vehicle is trying to distract the players of Metal Esports.
Oh, they've left Aru.
Oh no.
No, they're not really taking this fight.
Mature decision finally coming in from the side of Orangutan to leave the fallen comrade bleed to death and escape back to the safety because they are the one who are in dire need of those points. And Vizgod finally gets a great opening towards the side of Venom as well.
Yeah, good answer coming in right now, but they also have to focus on aimbot as this man has been impeccable, but not in this fight. As OD dismantled the likes of Medal, and now is the best time for them to go back towards Aru and revive him, but they'll have to do it quick, Shadow, because K9 would have heard this commotion, and we know that they always like to third party.
I think they can go for the rescue mission because AKOP with the vehicle is already there, and this is actually a good fight. OG, they didn't want to take advantage of the power play, but this fight was forced upon them, and 3 finishes, so that means 6 extra points, and now OG, they are on the 11th spot with 34 points. And Sinway, they are in the danger area. Sinway is also not looking that comfortable. Sinway was one of those teams which was always, even in the playoff, if you notice, they were in the top 4. And now they are sitting on the 12th spot. 2 points deficit from OG.
Big problems coming in for Sinway as well as it's being brought down to the 11th hour. And you mentioned about this rotation of OG, and I'd have to say now it worked out perfectly well for them. Winning out that early fight as well. They've got absolutely no one up in front of them if they decide to take the rotation towards the ruins and or hospital area. K9 as well. The moment they decided to barge in out here for this fight, that's actually when OG have got their revivals up, healings all the back up in front. And they're ready to run away. A decent amount of loot for the team as well, and I absolutely love it. This is the exact kind of start that you needed. But the question is, for how long will they continue?
OG, they were on the 14th or 15th spot at the very start of the game. Now they're on a decent spot. Genesis on the other side, they're also picking up fight against the players of Phoenix Esports as Goten has been knocked out with an AUG. Should be an easy confirmation, and Phoenix, they don't have to worry about anything scared. Let's be very honest.
Both of these teams don't have to worry about anything. Their performance in the first day was impeccable. They already did what they needed to do. The only thing that I'm worried about Phoenix right now is that for the past few games, they haven't really had those glorious moments of winning the fights. So that might actually hamper their run in the finals. So I'd rather have them winning the fight right now. There's going to be a big change out happening out here though, but for now, Genesis, they're going to be running all the way back. Don't really want to take the fight in that compound. Phoenix have been pretty solid in terms of defense, but a big shift, Shadow.
Yeah, the circle takes a bit of the western shift. It's all the way towards the side of Kowari where Team Aryan, they are going to find themselves in the center position of the circle. But OG, they're the one coming in from the northern side. And all the cluster of teams is also towards the northern side. So this is going to be a very tricky rotation for the players of Orangutan at this point.
Yeah.
Even for the players of Global Esports. Although they are somewhere on the northern periphery of the circle, they can actually go and take that western highway and maintain that shoreline control. But Global Esports, they also need to survive because everyone Everyone is going for the passive approach in this one. No one wants to... Really thought the last Erangel of today is going to be a pretty aggressive one. But rather it's the contrary.
I think so. Most of the teams are now focused on the ones who are at least up in the top of the leaderboard. They're focusing down back into their form. They want to keep the momentum with them for the grand finals. While the rest of the teams are simply going for the try-hard. They have to go for the try-hard. They want to make sure that their game is going to be phenomenal right now as OG get out of their vehicle. They find Genesis out in the open as they eventually get the first knock. But you also have to focus down on the rest of the members. The confirmation, it should flow in. AK will be able to get that. But OG can't really stay here for long. There's Phoenix also who will be moving in up close and personal. Atanki needed to find that knock. Instantly he's able to get that answer. But there we go. There comes the shots from the sidelines as Gravity gets destroyed. Orangutan will finish off Genesis and win off a crucial fight, finally pushing them over the mark.
This is what we wanted to see from the side of Orangutan from the very start of the semi-final. 7 finishes, few finishes were accumulated in the power play itself. So that means so many points. And now OG are sitting on the 10th spot. TWOB, they were looking comfortable. They were looking decent. And now they are also in the danger area. 11th spot. If VS, they bounce back, or 8-bit, or Aryan, or Global Esports, TWOB and Sinway, they can be pushed out of top 12.
Still thinking it's going to be a very big problem for Sinway right now. VXT answering back the members of K9s. It's again the top teams who are fighting amongst each other. Out in the open right now. VXT as well, Shadow, there haven't really been able to find their kind of footing which we normally expected them to, right? Their 4v4 fights have been looking, I'd have to say, a little bit rusty. They've been winning some, but they haven't been clean.
I think we can cut them some slack, at least in the semi-finals, because anyhow they are moving into the grand finals. They did all the hard work yesterday, so now they can sit comfortably. But OG, looking at the circle, everyone is suddenly all the way towards the southern side, where we have the players of Team Aryan as well. So that means OG can be the comfortable one all the way towards the northern part of the circle.
You know what? OG can definitely have that northern part. There's the only team that's going to be up in front of them is going to be VXT. But man, how did they even win that fight?
Oh my god, Global Esports and 8-bit. Team Aryan, 3 teams who are in dire need of those points are towards the southern side of the circle.
Yeah.
They are stuck in that cluster.
Biggest cluster out there. And you can also count Sinway in if you'd really want to. 2 of the teams who are already down towards that leaderboard are right now locking horns against each other right at the very southern edge of the circle.
Oh.
Big knock coming in from Thunder. This is the man who was on the bench for Victor Asumis, but finally being brought back in. He's showcasing his mark right now. Wanted that confirmation. The nade will bounce back in. It's perfect. It was like a guided missile. Reaching the target perfectly. But you talk about target and you see 8-bit down on the knees. It's Raiden and his power who have fallen.
Oh no! It's only Beast remaining from the side of Team 8-bit. And there is no time to go for the rescue mission because Global Esports is also marching in towards them. It's only one single lad. Even the plus of Hero Extreme Gortek are also there. 8-bit.
It's done.
It's done. They have been eliminated on the 14th spot.
You can already see the long faces of the boys. From almost being in top 4 at the end of week 2 to now being eliminated in the last game of semi-finals. What a downfall of 8-bit Shadow. And I think so we have to address the elephant in the room now. And I think so I'm still going to discuss about the exact same thing. When Raiden was playing with the lineup, when he had Aquanox, he also had his power and he also had Beast. When he started, 8-bit was on the verge of moving at the 17th spot. That's the 3rd page. He started from there. IGL, the team, was also on the list of pretty solid fraggers. S-Power started to perform. Aquanox started to perform. Beast was clutching up. And the team came in top 8. And we were having the conversation of maybe 8-bit can actually move in top 4. And then came the change. When Raiden was first benched, and Somraj moved in. They had the exact same boys, but the problems kept on piling up for them, eventually losing the momentum, and then Aquanox had to step out.
I think it's too late to beat around the bush and think what happened. Notice in the Challengers series, a team which broke all the records of getting a hat-trick, they were the one to be eliminated and not qualifying for the Master Series. In Master Series itself, a team which made the record of taking down 2 bounty teams in a single match, and now they are the one not making it to the grand finals. This shows how important every single game, every single day is for even the top teams.
And this is also one of the points which I wanted to mention. The reason why 8-Bit was able to take 2 bounty teams was back when Raiden was IGLing the team. I think so, yes, the format is relentless. You have to adapt quickly. But that adaptation did not really come in from Somraj. And eventually team fell down. Already being eliminated on the 14th spot out here right now. 8-Bit are not going to make it.
A team which was lifting so many trophies. A champion lineup. And now they are the one not making it to the grand finals. But OG is also in the same position. Although, because of the 7 finishes, they are sitting on the 10th spot. But they have to survive till the very last. One of the player, Atangi, has been knocked out. Vizgod also chipped very low. Nebula is the one going up against the players of Orangutan. And slowly and steadily, it looks like OG, they are also on the verge of elimination in this game.
Oh, that could very well be the case right now as Adi falls down though. It's going to be taken down and the knocks coming in back and forth. OG have brought all of their members back up on their feet and now are answering back as Phoenix is going to fall down. Nebula are disconnected. They've lost members. And they've lost the chance to take down OG.
And now OG, after they finish the plus of Nebula Esports, they'll have the entire Northern control. They can actually go for that big winner-winner chicken dinner. They've already crossed the mark of 40 total points. OG are making it to the grand finals. On the other side, 2 teams, VS TWOB. They are not in the top 12. TWOB on the 11th one, but VS are the one to eliminate them. The
That's
point
big.
difference between TWOB and VS is just 5 points. Only 5 points. And finally, OG with 11 finishes. Welcome to the grand finals. That's what I'm going to say to the players of OG at this point.
Welcome to the grand finals indeed. Big performance from the Apes at the 11th hour. And I think so now all the statements that AKOP said, mentioning how his team likes that pressure. Sometimes they enjoy that pressure. When they're all the way up high, there's no one to chase. So they're like, they're fine. Sometimes we do let other teams move up so that we can have that thrill. I think so all of that is now solidified. 11 finishes already for the team, but yeah, it was risky.
The kingdom has fallen down scared. 8-Bit, this is going to be such a big shocker. S-Power, a guy who was the MVP for so many tournaments, constantly back to back. He did left Somraj and once again came back to Somraj. So many changes. This was a champion lineup which is now not making it to the grand finals. I'm sure this is high time where Somraj needs to rectify whatever really happened wrong in the team, whatever the issue was. It's because of Aquanox not being present or whatever it was. The team needs to address it and rectify as soon as possible. But for now, we have a plus of Team VS and Team RN also going up against each other as Henry was trying to pepper a few bullets towards the side of VS. VS is also on the 13th spot. So this fight is very important for VS
what a nade.
and RN as well as Henry with a grenade gets a knock onto Thunder.
There we go, the second one as well, but a bit far out, lobbed in. Thunder is going to move back in the compounds. So he's going to be brought back up on his feet. But the big problem is that RN are stopping VS from taking an exit from this quarry field. They will have their backlines as well, but they're not clear. And it's Global Esports who are there, who are also very desperate for these points. All 3 teams who are down in the bottom, they are struggling together. And only one of them will come out alive from here. And I don't think so that's going to be Victor Simmons. I think so that's going to be Global Esports.
I think Global Esports is also prioritizing their rotation, because if you look at the Muni map, Mane is already inside the circle, where Adi, Spraygod and Troy, they are in 3 different directions. But this is the time when they need to regroup. They have collected the information about the plus of VS and Team Aryan. This is not the time to initiate the fight. This is the time to rather gatekeep the teams who are trying to traverse from the southern end. I think that is the call which Manya has made. But VS, Team Aryan, this is a really important fight for both of them, and VS finally has decided to back away, but they are not prepared for the plus of Global Esports.
Absolutely, this is what I was exactly mentioning, that VS will eventually have to lock horns with one of these teams, and this time it's going to be the members of Global Esports, but they've still found a way inside the circle. They've lost Thunder, yes. They are in a dip, yes. They're going to have a lot of teams facing their crosshairs on them, yes. But at least they will have a chance to survive for a while though. But again, you move away from Aryan, you move away from Global Esports, and you move in the crosshairs of Sinway. And now it's Global Esports who are shutting down the members of Aryan. Only one of these teams will survive. Only one will have a chance to move back up in the top 12. As it's even Victor Sumus who will be sent back home, backing. It's VXT to answer back to some other teams as well on different phrase, but VS, they're moving back home, and so are the members of Aryan. They were gate kept by Global Esports. Everything falling apart for these lineups.
Global Esports still in the game. Still possibility, even the plus of Sinway are also there. OG, I think they have done their job. Atanki is still surviving in a 1v1 battle against the last player of VXT, but Global Esports up against the players of Sinway Esports, where True Rippers are also the one to do a third party. Seems like Sinway, they are pretty much sandwiched between the two teams. They don't have the position advantage. Adi with a spray coming in from a M416 takes down Rex Boy. Might be looking for the confirmation point as well, but Global Esports Adi also needs to be a bit careful, because True Rippers can do a third party towards them as well. And finally, Q Lamau gets a knock onto Adi.
35 points is the cutoff which they need to cross right now, as even Sinway is alive and they are gaining points. Global Esports are not in the safe spot yet, and they have to focus their own showdown right now.
2 points.
Either eliminate Sinway and then get those points. But it's True Rippers who are firing shots on them right now.
At this point, Global Esports need to prioritize the rotation. They need to back away from this fight and let the players of True Rippers and Sinway Esports fight amongst each other. Because anyhow, Sinway, they can't get out of that situation, because Vishu has pretty much been down behind that vehicle. Finally, the vehicle explodes, and True Rippers, the only possibility of Sinway getting out of the situation is True Rippers also prioritize their own rotation and give enough time for Vishu to make it to the safety of the circle, where we have the plus of Hero Extreme, Godlike and Sarang also of VXT. But the fight towards the southern side is so crucial.
I love it. Last game. And maybe this one game can eventually help them out, as Vishu will need to move up with the blue. He's got no other opportunity, no other chance, no other ray of hope. It's all been taken down, and Sinway have fallen. A team that came from BGCS. A team that raised all of our hopes in the playoffs. Eventually have lost all sight at the end of the tunnel.
True Rippers, Harsh also coming under heavy fire from the side of Global Esports. Yes, Sinway has been eliminated, but the main question is Global Esports. Do they have enough points to be in the top 12? 3 players still standing strong. And they have the entire southern control of the circle as well. It's Manya, along with Troy and Spraygod. From the side of VXT, it's only one last player remaining, Sarang. But VXT, they have done enough to qualify for the grand finals. And same goes for the players of Hero Extreme, Godlike and True Rippers as well. It's only Global Esports in the lobby who is in the danger zone. And Sarang finally gets a knock and confirmation onto Gods and Edwino as well. A 1v2, by the way.
Yeah, it's a 1v2. It was a big one. I think so Global Esports will be in the save, but which team is not? That's going to be the big question. Will it be TWOB? Will it be Sinway? That's the main suspense out of here. A 3v2 we won. Global Esports have got this in their back pocket. But there was a game of Miramar where they had the numbers advantage, but they eventually fumbled They lost the ball, and it was K9 to steal it all away from them. And this was the exact same scenario which was created to them last time. Right now, as they decide to take the fight, they want to try and make their moves all the way over towards the members of True Rippers, Harsh and Kyo. They're holding their ground down. Manya out in the open, almost getting caught though, but still surviving by the skin of his teeth. Not for long, as the answer comes in from the other side, but Spray God is here to save the day. Numbers advantage not yet given.
9 finishes is what Global Esports is having, and they have made it inside the top 3. True Rippers left with only one last man, that is Harsh.
This nade.
This nade is going to be so crucial, but the trajectory is going to be a bit short. Harsh, this guy has proved himself multiple times. 10 finishes towards True Rippers, and Harsh is capable of converting an outnumbered fight also in his favor. But this time, Global Esports, they have got the momentum rolling in their favor. They have got the control of the real estate as well. The only problem is all the 3 players are in 3 different parts of the map.
But I absolutely like the call that Manya gave. He decided it's fine. Let's move back. We're going to focus on the chicken right now. We don't really care about the last 2 finish points. That's a clear-cut indication. You've got 3 players for yourself, 3 teams alive out here. You're one team. That means it's a 3v1v1. So rather than jumping inside a mixer grinder, it's better to let the 2 players do their own thing and we do the third party. I love the call from him. They've left Troy all the way towards that southern edge, and he's getting an entire bird's eye view of this area, so he will be giving out that information. And Spray God is jumping around, making sure that the left lines are clear. So now, you've got full map control. You know the idea of where Harsh is going to be. The only other part where Sarang is, or rather the question mark that there could be, would be those compounds which are actually inside the circle. But that's absolutely fine.
8-bit, VS, TWOB, Sinway. Sinway Esports was one of those teams which was constantly in the top 4 in the Challenger Series and in the playoffs as well. This day was so crucial for Sinway Esports. Rex Boy, such a big name. And he was the MVP for so long.
Yeah.
In the entire Challenger Series, Rex Boy was the name which was shining in the leaderboard, in the Finnish leaders.
Alright. The call is given right now. The names that are shining in this lobby is going to be Global Esports as they decide to make their move. They've decided to go in for this hunt as well for Harsh. And I think so they've finally pinpointed his location. The blue is now going to touch in at the circle. It still is around the exact same area. The nade parade goes in. Harsh heals himself back up right now as he still tries to stay alive. The vehicle blown, and so is Harsh. He tried his best. He almost pulled it out. But now it's Sarang who has to do something. Can he get a P90 out here? Rather, no. It's Sarang who still has got the S12 cap in his hands. The AUG as well. A player moving over towards his left. I don't think so he's got any chance. Shots being fired out in the wild, in the open. It's only the grass petals. It is not a steel cover. And you're not the Neo from the Matrix as Sarang jumps up with that one smoke. He wants to play around, but he cannot as it's Global Esports with a victory smack out here. They will move back up in the top 12 on the back of this big win. When the pressure was high and when the time called, the big boys out.
It's only the diamonds who shine under the pressure. Because few others, they crumble. And seems like Global Esports are also the diamonds in the lobby, because Manya is the guy who has lifted trophy on the Masters Series, not just once but twice. The qualification was really important for the boys of Global Esports. Yes, this time they are without that same IGL which was back in the days. There are few roster changes. They had to prove their point, but so did the plus of 8-bit. And if you notice, S-Power was actually underperforming this time.
It was big time. A lot of problems that came in for that roster. A lot of things to be discussed as we have a look at the final blow as well for that one. Some big performances, but Global Esports I'm pretty sure Suren wants to ask a lot of questions because the boy stayed alive. So let's send it down to him.
वो जिंदगी क्या, वो टूर्नामेंट ही क्या, जहां पे आखिरी लम्हे तक कोई ट्विस्ट ना देखने को मिले। एक टीम जो कगार पे थी एलिमिनेट होने की, वो टीम अब जारी है फाइनल में। हमारे साथ मान्या, 2 टाइम चैंपियन, वी गॉट मायावी ऑल्सो 2 टाइम चैंपियन। फाइनली वो मायावी यही खड़ा हुआ था हमारे साथ, हार्ट बीट तेज, समझ नहीं आ रहा था। थोड़ा ज्यादा लेट नहीं छोड़ दिया तुम लोगों ने ये जो क्वालिफिकेशन है?
वही है कि जब शॉर्ट फॉर्मेट होता है, कम मैचेस होते हैं तो कभी भी ऊपर नीचे हो जाता है, बट इट्स जस्ट दैट जी फाइटिंग, आखिरी तक फाइट करना था और रिजल्ट हमारे फेवर में ही आया।
हम जब उन 4 टीमों की बात कर रहे थे 3 मैच के बाद, उसमें मेरे साथ यहाँ ओजी के भी AKOP थे और सोमराज भी थे ऑफ 8 बिट। आपको तो इसलिए नहीं बुलाया था क्योंकि मैं लगा था कि यार यहाँ तो इनका शायद चांस भी नहीं बन रहा है मैथमेटिकली। लेकिन मान्या, वो जो पेडिग्री आपके नाम की, वो जो रुतबा है, तीसरे मैच के बाद व्हाट वर यू टेलिंग योरसेल्फ?
लाइक जब टॉप 4 की रेस पे थे तो 30 पॉइंट चाहिए था, वो भी ट्राई कर रहे थे। तो लास्ट 2 मैच के टाइम तो बस 2 मैच में 26 चाहिए था, तो हम यही थे कि हमने 8 चिकन निकाले हैं, बस 9वां चाहिए।
कहीं ऐसा एक लम्हा था where you were doubting yourself and your team कि क्या ये कहानी आज के दिन खत्म होने वाली है ग्लोबल ई-स्पोर्ट्स की?
वेल, कह सकते हैं मीरामार के बाद थोड़ा सा लगा था, बिकॉज 2 मैचेस में 1 ही पॉइंट आए थे, बट बहुत रैपिडली सानोक में फटाफट 10 पॉइंट्स आ गए थे और फिर लास्ट में तो वही होता है कि जो अच्छा लास्ट मैच खेल जाएगा उसको मिल जाएगा। बट हाँ, डाउट पूरे तरीके से तो नहीं, बट कह सकते हैं थोड़ा डर जरूर लग गया था। पूरे तरीके से टीम पे डाउट नहीं आया था, बट डर लगा था, बट अंदर से पता था कि हो सकते हैं, हो जाएंगे।
मानिया, अभी ये जो रूप हम देख रहे हैं आपका, बड़ा सभ्य सा रूप है, लेकिन जब आप मैच जीते थे ना, उस टाइम पे आपके चेहरे पे सारे जो इमोशंस निकल के आए, जो भावनाएं हमें देखी, व्हाट डज इट मीन टू द रेस्ट ऑफ द गैंग? उनको कैसा फील हो रहा था अभी?
मतलब सभी अच्छा फील कर रहे थे क्योंकि अपने फेवर पे चीज़ें जा नहीं रही थी। सैनोक में भी हम थोड़ा ग्लिच के वजह से मर गए थे, वरना हम सैनोक में ही हम शायद क्वालिफाई हो जाते। तो थोड़ा लक भी फेवर नहीं कर रहा था, बट लास्ट मैच हम थोड़ा सोचे कि पेशेंस के साथ खेलेंगे और इज्जत से लूटेंगे, इज्जत से जोन जाएंगे, इज्जत से खेलेंगे। वो सारी चीज़ें इज्जत से की और इज्जत से चिकन ले लिया।
भाई, बाकी टीमों को इज्जत नहीं दी है क्योंकि इन्होंने जैसा बोला, इज्जत से इन्होंने चिकन डिनर जो है वो हासिल किया है। द 2 टाइम चैंप is coming to the finals. We take a break and return.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12 gigabyte ramped up, run on all engines upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Okay, so let's say you find this little number in a loot box. Before you slay the competition, slay the fit. Here, get ready with me. Press the power button on your Android to activate Gemini and ask for styling tips. How do I style this jacket for a casual look?
For a casual look, pair this jacket with jeans and a white, black or grey t-shirt. Complete the outfit with either boots for a rugged vibe or clean sneakers for a modern, relaxed feel.
Boom! Conquer coded outerwear. May you slay in style.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. for OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Red Bull gives you wings.
My oh my, what a roller coaster of emotions out there in the very last game. But for all the global esports fans, I'm pretty sure they're going to praise Manya and they're going to put him up on cloud 9 because he saved the team. And it's not just him, the performance of the entire team was phenomenal. And I think so it's about time for all of us to have a chill pill right now, drink some Bisleri water and calm down because the emotions were up high in that game.
Let's do GE fighting once.
GE fighting,
GE
indeed.
fighting,
GE fighting indeed.
Yeah, but few other teams were not able to fight in the last game of Erangel. Or should I say in all the 8 games of semi-finals because they were constantly at the bottom of the leaderboard.
True.
Yes, this last Erangel was a truly roller coaster ride. See a few of the teams like Orangutan also propelling themselves, going for those power play, extra finish points.
Yes.
In fact, the first fight was forced upon the players of OG. They were not the one looking for the fight. It was forced upon them. And after that, they picked up the momentum and went for the aggressive approach, which eventually paid off.
That was a big one, I'd have to say, because yes, it was medal, it was out in the open as well, and had that fight elongated, if that was stretched out, K9 was definitely hopping in downstairs to eventually take them down out here. But OG survived, they did not crumble out in the pressure, but the one man who was standing right next to AKOP definitely did, falling out after a long run of over 22 days, Shadow.
Yeah.
It breaks the heart to see Somraj like that. Because this man was one of the persons who had so many trophies. And to be honest, out of the list of the best IGLs in BGMI, he was definitely in my top 5.
But for now, Sarang is the one who is in top 5 because he's the MVP with 6 finishes and 75% finish contribution. Recently, we have seen Sarang stepping up majorly along with Ronnie. And Ninja Jot this time is the best companion with 2 rescues and 0 assists. The finisher has to be Troy from the side of Global Esports with 4 finishes and 6 assists.
Big performances coming in for all the big boys out here. And VXT will be happy seeing Sarang back in the form as well, Ninja as well, going in for those rescues for the teams. I think so they are finally working together pretty decently. I did mention that they were not winning fights cleanly, and I believe the very next fight for them was against the members of K9 Esports, and they were able to win that with 2 members out of 3 members surviving.
Well, definitely, and K9 Esports also went against the plus of BXT, and eventually it was BXT coming on the top. But this fight was also really important as Hero Extreme Godlike, they are in a different role. If you notice in the map of Miramar, Senok, and this time in the Erangel as well, Hero Extreme Godlike are looking so very strong. And it looks like if this domination continues for the players of Hero Extreme Godlike, they can actually be in the top 5 or in somewhere in the podium finish. And maybe, as the fans are expecting Godlike to break the curse and lift the trophy, highly possible.
2025 has been that year for so many teams. We talk about South Africa in cricket. We talk about RCB in IPL. We talk about OG in BGMI. So it might be the time for Godlike as well to pull their socks up right now. But it's again going to be Global Esports with 21 points. Claiming that spot back again. 17 points for OG as well. 16 finish points, 1 position points. OG are back in the same form again. And you wanted to see that. This is where the hearts are broken, Shadow. DWOB, 8-bit. Arvin. 3 teams which were struggling for a long time, and their struggles has still continued, especially 8-bit.
Just a single point in the game which mattered the most for 8-bit. TWOB 0 points. But let's have a look at the leaderboard. It's Hero Extreme Godlike on the top. These teams have made it to the grand finals. OG, who are looking at the very last of the leaderboard, last page of the leaderboard towards the bottom, and now they are sitting on the 8th spot with 45 points.
Big thing to notice here is they've got 32 finishes, Shadow.
Yeah.
And that's basically the total number of finish points that they've secured right now. Are in 8 games. They got 16 finish points in the previous game. That is big. Out here right now as we move over towards the bottom of the page, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big one. Aryan, 8-Bit, Victorous Sumus, and TWOB.
Just 1 point difference. This is going to hurt the players of TWOB. Just 1 point difference is what we have between Sunway Esports and TWOB. VS just 4 point deficit.
That's how it is.
And when was the last time you saw Somraj and the boys on the 15th spot in the leaderboard?
Yesterday.
Apart from the semi-finals.
Nowhere close. I agree. And this is one of the big things as well for the boys. Big struggles. He doesn't want to be on the camera right now because I'm pretty sure, you know, it's eventually going to start raining for 8-Bit. And by that I mean, yeah, you know, I'm not really going to say that, but it's hearts being broken.
Yeah.
Hopes being lost. But as we all say, every single time, it is never a failure. It is always a learning curve for all of these teams. So I think so this is something that the bottom 4 teams will eventually look forward to. And then they will work around and perform even better in the next event. So I really hope that the lineup sticks together, ladies and gentlemen, as there is something that sticks together right as from the event, as when it started, it's been continuing till now. That's going to be one of the big things which we always talk about, right? Those TVS Raider bikes, the beautiful bikes that are standing out of there, and we always see some or the other person, some or the other professional player who eventually sits on top. Who do you think is going to sit on top today?
Ninja Boy.
I mean, the man is absolutely here, and he is a reliable performer of his team, just like the TVS Raider out here. It comes in with a phenomenal IGO, which brings in the segment's first GTT digital cluster with 85 plus connected features. Definitely want to check that bike out here, ladies and gentlemen. It's all the boys with the OG boys sitting on top.
Yeah, AKOP, Wizgod, Aru, Atanki, the boys. When it mattered the most, they stepped up. They started the tournament on a very good note. If you notice, in the very first week, OG were looking untouchable. It looked like they will make it directly to the grand finals. But all the fans of this lineup of S-Power, Somraj also did expect to see them in the grand finals. I'm sure, just like every blockbuster movie, our esports blockbuster was also full of emotions. Few happy emotions, few sad emotions are always there, which makes things interesting every time.
And there's Swiggy that makes things interesting for you at home as well, as you get a QR code and an exclusive 99 rupees off coupon on Swiggy. It's limited time only, lasts as long as the BGMS continues. As we have a look at the Swiggy 99 finishes as well, 56 times we've already reached those 99 finishes mark. 5688 times total number of finishes as well, in total of 96 matches. That's again a big number being racked up, clearly shows you how aggressive the entire lobby is, and that's exactly what is rewarded as well in BGMS, and that is the big thing. But what are your expectations for the finals?
A very good head start from all the teams.
A big head start is exactly what they need, ladies and gentlemen, because again, this has been a humongously long journey. It has always been a day with either 2 games or either 4 games, but now the consistency will hit. 3 days, 4 games each, 12 games to give us who is going to be crowned as the champions, as the action will begin tomorrow right here. Make sure you stay tuned as we sign off for the evening.